with the Feel Great Protocol.
Our naval blockade was unbelievable. But I'll not only release our Navy because the naval blockade was unbelievable. But I'll not only release it, I'll probably have a press conference and read it to you word by word so that the press covers it accurately. Because it's a very important document, and unlike Obama, who could have destroyed the Middle East with a horrible JCPOA, it is the worst agreement. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a wall against a nuclear weapon. I mean, I see these people say, but we already had one. What was the words? He paid a fortune for it. We paid nothing. We don't pay. There was some statement, we're going to spend $300 billion. No. We're not. We're allowed to go and invest if we wanted to someday in the future. We have no obligation whatsoever. It could be that Iran will turn out to be successful when they have oil.
What a weird-ass clip. And how's it going out there, my fellow world patriots? It is indeed Tuesday, January 16th, 2026. And where is the year going? It is just cooking right along here. But I got Mr. Ghost and Doc Mike and Mr. Armando that we will pull in one by one here. But it's just been a crazy weekend, and what a time with the UFC event. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Thought it was really good. But let's bring in Mr. Ghost, sir. How are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Well, howdy. I guess as of Sunday, I became a UFC fan.
Yes. A lot of people did that too. Yeah, a lot of people were, even in my chat, we were doing kind of a watch party where we were somewhat commentating and whatever, but people are like, yeah, I never really looked at this stuff before. I like this. And that was a kind of, they went over the top on that one, with all the music and the pageantry and stuff. It was super cool though.
Well, it's going to be done by the president. It's going to be done big. So
yes,
they did it big. But
I
thought it was really interesting. You just win the championship, and I don't know what his purse was. I don't know how much he walked away with, and then figuring after taxes. But who's going to take a risk on something like that? After you just you win the belt, who's going to take a risk with that? Because that's an easy slam dunk slander and defamation suit right there. So let's see how that goes and how the press handles that.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about, say, this?
The finale.
Justin Gaethje, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Justin Gaethje. Okay, I thought you were talking about the Michelle Obama. I thought you were getting confused because I was like, that wasn't the belt.
That one.
Okay, this one this one was a fight. Yeah, this one was just a heavyweight champion.
I showed you how much.
Well, still, it was a heavyweight belt. But let's play it for the folks. The whole 6 seconds.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Michelle.
And as it happens, I had this NTD stream going, and Trump President Trump was right here, and he had a little bit of a grin on his face as it was going, and then it was pretty interesting. But yeah, that was
We don't say
pretty
anything
wild.
like that unless it's a slam dunk, and you can say it, and nobody's going to, because Discovery's going to be drop your drawers in front of his doctor right here.
Well, all right. Before we start pulling in too many stories, let's bring in Mr. Doc Mike. How's it going, sir? How's everything? Obviously, we have a lot of folks out here praying for Renee, and hopefully everything's on the up and up and trending in the right direction. But how you doing today, my man?
Doing good. Yeah, very long weekend. Just had to spend time with Renee, medical center, and just taking care of her. And otherwise than that, just working a lot and getting things done, staying on the up and up. I do want to say, for all the prayers out there, that everyone is sending. We are very grateful for all the prayers. We're so blessed, so blessed, and the amount of people, because of Renee's going through getting, we're prepping and getting everything ready for the heart transplant, and for the GoFundMe, we are just so thankful for the people donating and sharing the link and sharing the page. It is, I really have no words for it as how many people have been donating, and we are just, and I mean that in the very positive way. We're just so grateful, so blessed, and it means so much to us. Well, at the medical center over the weekend, we'd learned how much the heart transplant was going to cost with insurance.
Oof.
and even the military was going to help out, and there was still the overall cost, with gross and net, just what we had to pay. It's a lot of money. It's more money than I would make in 5 to 6 years,
Jeez.
and probably 7 or 8 years, to be honest. And it's I'm going to do my best. If that means I have to pick up a second, third job, I'm going to do that. It's very hard, and Renee, this whole weekend had a couple episodes with her heart and her blood pressure, and so that's why we had to take her to the medical center, and so and then today, just out of nowhere, she had she had something weird happen, and she lost consciousness for maybe 2 or 4 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, and then she came to, and it was very scary.
Yeah.
Had the paramedics come, checked her out. She was okay. Blood pressure was okay. So we called the cardiologist's office. We did the remote pacemaker check, and we're still waiting back for the results on that. The paramedics and the captain with the fire department said he thinks it's because she's getting these electrical jerks in her body, or it's coming from her heart area and diaphragm, so they think it's from the pacemaker. And so that's why we did the remote pacemaker check, and so we're waiting the results from the doctor, the cardiologist. So that's what we've been going through that and waiting for the results. A good person on the other side of the house, there's a very good person running for Secretary of State of Nevada, Jim Marchant, and I just want to. He is a expert in what he does. He's a very good person, and if you're in Nevada and you're looking for a legitimate Secretary of State who's gonna, do business the right way, the correct way, and stick to his words. He won the primaries for Secretary of State, and please, I'm going to be working with him on the side, to assist him. And if you, I just put it this way, your current Secretary of State is probably not the best person in charge right now, and that's just my personal opinion. And when I do operations or work in Las Vegas, I do see the nitty gritty, and I do work with some of the people that are currently in charge over there, and it's a little sad the way it is. So with getting someone that is very on the up and up side and very good, I think Las Vegas is going to be a beautiful newer city, and it's going to be a lot better with someone like Jim Marchant in office as Secretary of State. And also another gentleman, Rick Saga, is running for Congress out there too. And I don't know where he's at in the preliminaries, but Rick is a very good, very, very notable and good gentleman. And
What was the last name?
Saga, Saga.
Okay.
And there's quite a bit, with the old mafia people out there tried to do him dirty, and he wound up getting a team of experts and lawyers, and he's pretty much gonna throw them in the clinker for what they try to do to him. But he's running for Congress on the other side, and so he is Rick is a very diligent person, very well-to-do, very intelligent. If
Indicted
you're in
Rick?
Nevada, yes.
What he got? That's what you're talking about. Basically, people that got him busted or whatever that he's going to go after.
Yeah,
that's why he made his website Indicted Rick.
Yeah,
it's like President Trump.
Yeah, no. So I know the whole backstory. I don't have permission to share from him just yet, but I'm pretty sure he'd be okay with it. But so just for the tidbits of him, so they really tried to set him up, and they did their best, but they didn't. They didn't fully close all the loopholes that they thought they did, and they're Rick's, his team, Rick and his team, they're doing very well. And the people that tried to do defamation, harm, and some other stuff to him, they're going to pay for it and go to prison. So, if you're in Nevada, definitely vote for Rick and Jim Marchant. I've known these guys for years. They've helped out Renee in many ways, more than I can go on hours of how they helped her.
Good people though.
Very good people. Very, very good people. Very good people.
That's what we need.
And
I'll second that. I've known Jim for years too, and he's a good guy. He's the kind of a guy you want in those positions. Both of them are. I've met Rick. Rick's a good guy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the last time, when I was working out there, we were having a hard time to, get a hotel because everything was booked on a vacation holiday. And Rick was actually, just come over to my house and stay with us. And so Renee and I just stayed with him and his family, and he took care of us like family, and got to know him really well over the past couple of years. And definitely vote for Rick. He is an upstanding person, probably one of the best people you're going to want in Congress in Nevada, in Nevada for you, especially when it comes to congressional representative work. He is that guy. And Jim Marchant, for Secretary of State, you want to talk about someone who is very diligent and very knowledgeable about a lot of things. And put it this way, everything that we discuss on here, when it comes to, war, when it comes to finances, when it comes to everything else, Jim is a subject matter expert in pretty much all of this. And so definitely, I'm just letting you know from my side, these guys are cream of the crop, and they're top notch. They won't let you down, and so my prayers for them, and I hope they win. And I just want to, this is just my personal opinion, and how I feel, and I feel that Nevada and Las Vegas, they do need a turnaround, and this would be the best way to get that turnaround, for a positive way. And then quite frankly, with all those little taxes that you see on your bill when you go and stay at a hotel in Las Vegas, these are the guys that are going to get those little gratuities and taxes erased off of that.
Heck
So yeah.
I mean, if you're saying they're good guys, dude, and hey, he let you stay at his house, but he got a security guard for the night as well. So that was a win-win for him. But yeah, I mean, if you're saying that they're a good guy and they're obviously going above and beyond and being helpful, it's good enough for me, bro, for sure. Let's not leave Mr.
They can check Jim's record. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
they can check Jim's record out, and he was a state legislator in Florida, state legislator in Nevada. And he did some groundbreaking stuff with regard to the computer and telecom industry in Florida, with some bills that he put forth, stuff that worked for everyone, especially the consumer. So he's that kind of mind, that kind of orientation. You're not getting the usual bullshit that you see in Washington in either one of these guys, Jim on a state level and Rick on the national level.
Nice. Yeah, heck yeah. Two good dudes. So if you're in that area, definitely consider those two gentlemen. And no problem for me, Ghost. You were just keeping Armando in the corner there for a second. But Mr. Armando Gonzalez Jr., what's up today, brother?
Armando.
Hey, what's up, fam? Hello out there in the live chat. Thanks for having me back once again. Vertical and above the grass, man. Doing good. Happy. Can't complain. Just doing my thing.
Did you end up getting to check out the UFC at all?
Oh, of course, man. I wouldn't miss that. Michelle's a dude. What do you want? I loved it.
Oh,
and the
dude.
Spaniard over there, the Matador, man, he got his face beat to a pulp.
Oh,
I was excited, man.
I was so loving that. I was so loving that. And, people you got to be confident if you're a fighter, right? Like, you have to believe I'm going to go in there and I'm going to knock this guy out. Like, they all have to have that confidence that comes with part of the territory. So, there's one thing to be confident, but then he just took it to another level where he was just like, I'm the best in the world. And Justin says, oh, my coach is, probably one of the best coaches in the world. Oh, what makes your coach the best? I'm the best. I'm the champion. So that means my coach is the best in the world. And I was like, you know what? It's enough for me. I don't want to see this SOB win even more now. But as you guys see, Justin did say the other day before the fight, he said, I'm going to change his face. And
he did.
He sure made that pretty boy's face a little difficult to see out of there. He couldn't see out of his right eye after the third round, and they almost stopped it. And then after the fourth round, and here's the weird thing. Justin is a wrestler so his base was wrestling, but everybody that fights him say he hits harder than like anybody they ever fought. So when he connects with people, he definitely makes some damage there. Car crashes is what he calls it. The majority of all the damage he did to this guy's face was with jabs, believe it or not, because he just had that reach and he has the power to back it. That jab is just lethal, and then he connected him with 3 right-handers, man. That's it. Lights out. Goodbye. No more, there was some beautiful, like I said before, pageantry. One of my mods, Debbie, had put together some of the images from that night, and she made note of this image too, which I haven't showed this week, but they always do say this when they make the announcements. Coming to you live from the Military District of Washington. It's like, oh, okay, noted. So I thought that was pretty cute, but she got a lot of the other ones as well.
Telling you the truth for a change.
Exactly.
Yeah, well. Remember also that South Lawn, that is non-corporate land.
Is it
it's
really?
Not theirs. Yes, that is sovereign land.
Oh shit! So that makes
The corporation does not own the South Lawn. That's not their property. That's why.
wow.
There's a lot of little
That's why
quirks
when
like that. You see.
That's why when the king and the queen came over here, all of those talks that they had and all that stuff, it was all done on the South Lawn,
Aye,
outside the jurisdiction. I just dropped a
Wow.
video last week on the channel, not to self patronize myself or anything like that, but
Truth
in my
Table
6
News.
years of in my 6 years of existing in this space, that video that live that I did last week with the same panel here is close to reaching 5,000 views in less than a week.
Boom!
It's never
shakalaka.
happened ever. For what 1,100 followers, over
That's really
5,000
good.
views. I mean, it's insane.
That's a really good ratio because they usually say like if you do half of your follower count in views, then you're doing pretty good, and you're doing like 5 times on that video. So that's really good. I mean, this was just gorgeous. I mean, how can anybody, unless you're some lefty lib, have anything against what they're doing here? You happen to have some dude with his boobs hanging out when they did their little whatever that was.
Oh God,
that was disgusting. You know what I mean? It was just absolutely disgusting. But I really enjoyed it, and it did give me like a little flashback of some 70s, 80s stuff when they started off the band when they did the face-off the night before. I thought that was interesting as well. And here's the guy. I don't know if this was a Pokemon thing or whatever. It looks like it's actually him. It looks like it's him in like a hoodie, but it's like a graded sports card or something. And he ended up putting it around Trump's neck. And it was literally about 5 seconds after he said, Michelle Obama's a man. Am I right, America? That video was watching Trump right there. And about 5 to 10 seconds after that, he took this off. So I don't know if that was in response to that or if he was just going to take it off in general anyway. But I'm surprised he put it on in the first place. All right, so that's UFC. Oh, we do have one more thing in UFC we'll cover. Let's figure that out now because I don't know. I'm being told that no, this never happened, and then today we're getting more and more pieces of information that's coming out here. So we're talking about a federal arrest warrant here, revealed that a California man named Michael Allen Thomas was one of the alleged organizers of the alleged White House terror plot, UFC White House terror plot. Feds say he admitted he believes the U.S. government is run by elites who sacrifice and eat children, had involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, and are protected by President Trump. Investigators took screenshots of his signal chats in which the details of the plot were discussed and maps of the UFC event were shown with suggestions on where snipers, yeah, that'd be a great idea, or snipers around the White House, good luck with that, where they would be placed, and feds also recovered rifles and ammo. Sources tell colleague David Spunt those in custody are American citizens and there is no foreign nexus believed to be at play. And again, guys, I don't know. I mean, at first I heard, it was BS, and then we're seeing more of this stuff come out. So, I'm kind of green on this one, Armando.
It's typical neurolinguistic speak, legal speak again. There is no foreign involvement believed, the operative word being believed. So think about that.
Well, I'll add
basically what they're saying with that is probably, or we know, or, that's a signal. That's a signal. Why would you even say that? They haven't said that with Butler. They didn't say that with any other attempt. But they put that out there with that. That's their way of saying to the foreigners, yeah, we know. We got you. Now, what they do with that, how far it goes, how much the public sees, how much the friggin' New York Times and the Washington Post, what kind of horse crap they'll peddle out there. That's one story. You're always getting a story. Remember that. You've got to go another 2 layers, 3 layers deeper just to get to the meat of it. And you go about 5 layers and you've got it. But they never go to that 5th layer ever.
Nope.
So basically, the FBI got tipped off on June 10th. I got the piece for it right here. So DOJ just unleashed images of the weapons and the maps tied to a terror plot targeting President Trump and UFC Freedom 250 at the White House. The 19-year-old in Ohio was picked up after his mother called authorities on him, and investigators say she may have blown the entire plot open. Drones armed with firepower, snipers positioned nearby, and suspects in multiple states. The FBI and Secret Service are investigating. Officials have more suspects are still out there. Okay.
We put a bolo out there, and I was down over at the office, and we're working on Operation Riptide. And that came in. There's more. Just like Armando said, there's more suspects out there. There's bolos out there. They're being looked at right now. They're definitely wanted. So you got the FBI, the marshals, DOJ, SIS with DOJ, and plenty of other definitely good law enforcement people going after those people right now.
Yeah, it seems to me. Go ahead, Armando.
Scooped up.
Yeah, it seems to me, guys, and I'm the novice at this stuff. But like, it seems to me that if you have multiple, what they're saying, teenagers or whatever from multiple states, how did all these kids from all these multiple states link up? Is what I want to know. Is it some sort of a chat group that they were in?
App.
Signal.
But how do you you don't connect to Signal unless you're in some sort of a group, right?
So what was kind of explained to me through one of the supervisors is that these kids play Xbox, right? Games, and in the gaming community, someone started to how do you say it? Someone's coursing and picking people, basically recruiting, right? Recruiting people
through the chats and the games, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
audio, a lot of it.
and there's
like
other
typing.
platforms too besides just gaming chat rooms and other stuff too that they were doing through social media and some other stuff. But
the one major news outlet said Signal. They put that out there today. So here comes the mixed messages. Because
Signal,
I think that makes more sense to me. What you're saying, Mike.
So Signal, it was just used for the communication between them. Now people think Signal's like encrypted, all this stuff. It's like, okay,
that's crap.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And so Signal, the download on Signal. So you can use Signal, it's better than text messaging if you feel like it. WhatsApp is horrible. Telegram is horrible as far as if you're trying to have a safe encrypted chat, right? Now, for Signal wise, that's what they were using as their communications platform, to send messages to and from. And when the mother got wind of it, she wound up contacting law enforcement. They went in through Signal. And if you go back when Signal was created, you can kind of see who created Signal. And so it didn't take too long. It didn't take law enforcement and the IC community to put everything together in a very short amount of time and make this happen. And so so Signal was the communications platform, and and out of the Joint Regional Intelligence Center and the OCU, that's what they were looking through was their Signal platform, then to the emails and basically anything ELINT or like electronic intelligence. And just started it going through everything. Put a mass amount of bodies on it, and just started pulling nails out of the wood.
Usually those communities, as far as the gaming is concerned, Discord server, okay, that's usually where they all link up because they put it out there. It'll bleed over to Telegram a little bit, not much, right? Because they all know it sucks. But Discord is the preferred foundation for any type of recruiting. Also, TikTok as well is another foundation for that. We've seen things with certain people about that, about recruiting. And then they wind up going to Signal, just like who did? Antifa and the protesters up in Minneapolis, right? That was all Signal also as well. But it stems before that, right? It all has a starting point, and that's usually a Discord.
If these people out there were serious about what they're doing, they're going to go to the dark web to a good old fashioned IRC server that's like got
they should.
15
Yeah,
proxies. Yeah,
if they were professionals, yeah.
And none of them that have been doing this stuff. So you can take it one way or the other. You can say, well, some of these things are somebody's show, and some of them aren't, or they're just stupid people. These teenagers. I personally think they're going to find more to that, and they're just not going to. It's just never going to make it out. It's like all the others. The others on the surface immediately go far deeper, including Charlie Kirk, and with unfortunately a kind of unacknowledged but acknowledged at the same time rift between two agencies, one domestic and one foreign. One domestic doesn't always get the full story that they should. And there's many times one will know the entire story and is not going to tell the other. And that's just the way it's been. There's reasons for that I think need to actually be addressed for the first time in 50 years, actually longer. But it is what it is. And look, when you're talking about the national game versus the international game, two different games. And so what we see about this and others that have happened, if you go past 6 months, forget it. It'll be guys who do the research in the FOIA writing books and then take it for what it's worth. Whether you think you're getting the truth or a part of the truth or not. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but every industry is controlled out there, especially publishing. Yeah. So
book deals. We know all about the book deals too. And if you guys remember this is just a real
these wonderfully gifted people who couldn't write their way out of a wet paper bag, turning out books left and right after they get out of office. No, these are ghostwriters. That's all.
Ghostwriters. Well, this is just a quick trip down memory lane. We were told a long time ago, and I think it was even earlier than this, but 2020 at least, that these guys like Rod Rosenstein and Mueller, Peter Strzok, some of these other people were using Palpatine's Revenge video game to chat through. And they mentioned this on the boards, and well, wouldn't you know, the next morning there was a big Xbox outage. It's like, oh wait, what happened? So they were going in and trying to clean up their chat logs and things like that. So yeah, they definitely use that. But like why I question Signal is like generally you have to like meet somebody, you know what I mean, and be like, oh hey, well come over and join my Signal group.
You have to exchange your phone number, basically.
Well, not anymore.
And you can do it. You can do one-on-one for a long time.
So
not anymore with Signal.
Not anymore. So now, now people can message you even if they're not on your contact list. They can send you a straight message.
I thought that was one of the safeties. They took that away, huh?
Well, yeah, they took it away, or someone got around it.
Don't forget that once you sign up on that platform, also as well, you always get that little prompt that comes up and say, hey, based on your contacts, because they already looked, based on your contact, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, I'll also hear you. Do you want to connect with them? There you go. Yeah. It's done. Yeah.
Oh, dude, do you guys, this is a really, really weird one too. And I know how they do it, but so just for an example, my Facebook, right? I, like anybody take my kids' pictures and stuff. Oh, look at my beautiful, my son and this, that, and the other, whatever. And then maybe 2017, I shut it off. I basically made it private. But so I still can go on there and I can look at, Facebook, look at the marketplace, things like that. I can use Messenger, although my Messenger was suspended for about 3 or 4 years there. But here's where it gets really weird, right? Even though I am private on there, I can go on there and, oh, wait, why am I seeing this guy? I'm seeing one of my co-hosts, Hulkinator's regular profile, and me and him are not friends on Facebook. And because I know his real name and everything, but it's like, oh, would you like to link up with this person? And then oh, Joe Rambo, who I'm friends with, but I'm not on Facebook. And so it's telling me like all these people, and I'm like, wait, I know this person. Oh, that's crazy. So it's trying to link us up behind the scenes, and they know because, like Armando said, they're already looking at all your contacts anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's really cringy the way they do things, guys. Really cringy.
Well,
you want another spooky one? Look at Discord. I put on my Discord unavailable, like I'm offline, and people still send me stuff, right? And I get notices, dude, I'm offline. I'm not. Yeah, you are. You're online 24/7. But
yeah, and it's and the one thing that, and I don't know if some people do know this, and some people do not, is even if you delete a text message, you delete something off Discord. If you delete some off Signal, whatever messaging platform or a phone call, whatever it's going to be, if you delete it, nothing is ever deleted. Everything, so everything is stored in clouds, data centers, and some other things that I can't talk about. But and when we go in and apprehend somebody, and somebody has a locked phone. There was in the very beginning, when I got into CI, there was a company called Cellbrite, and we wound up doing quite a few training courses and classes with them. And Cellbrite, we hook up. Say we take your phone, we take the phone and we hook it up to a Cellbrite device, and we extract all the information that's there. And we also can extract any information that you deleted, that you thought you deleted, you tried to obfuscate somewhere else. And Cellbrite was really good with getting information back and applying it to real time intelligence and getting it to other units that needed it. And so just be cautious out there with and when I say be cautious, I mean it in a positive way, that for when you and with the incorporation of AI, that there's actually
it's going to be something.
So we're running into issues where with AI has been incorporated into running in investigations. And then there's also people that just get picked out of the cherry, out of the world for something they never did. And say like you're on Telegram, and you send a message and you don't agree with what so and so is doing or the senator is doing, and so you say this defamatory mark or whatever it is. Well, AI comes in and it's part of the IC's application. It's an investigational tool that an AI runs on its own, and so it's you can say it's skimming through the internet, right? And then it'll flag somebody, and then that person gets flagged, and the next thing you have law enforcement knocking on your door because you didn't agree with this bill that got passed. And so there's a lot of issues going on with AI companies that are actively enrolled with federal and state and local police departments and agencies that they're trying to correct it and work on it and make it more efficient and better. And so innocent people aren't just getting wrapped up and wasting, law enforcement or the intelligence or the military's time. And so it's just one of those things with AI. AI is so vast and so broad and so fast that I think, we really have to catch up to AI. or that's what I believe, is that we have to catch up to AI where it's at, or else it's just going to take off. And you could
Yeah.
probably and honestly, you could probably say that AI is already taken off and we're not able to catch up to it.
Well,
But I
there's a
believe that
reason for that.
yeah,
There's
I
a
believe
reason for
that
that, though.
I believe that take your time. Let's the different AI companies. Okay, you have your AI engineers, all of your specialists, and try to catch up and get all the flaws where you're at, and see where you're at with with what I can talk about with AI. With um, just catch up to make sure that mistakes aren't being made and innocent people just aren't being thrown in the gulag.
Yeah.
Um, because
But
that's the sad
it's
side.
got to reach. We've got here's the problem though. We've got to reach critical mass with AI. Now, what do I mean by that? Where AI is actually functioning light years ahead on its own and working in every science, in every sector. Now, what's most important is the sciences for obvious reasons. This is bigger than the nuclear bomb, developing the atomic bomb during World War II. This is bigger than anything in history. Once you reach that critical mass where you are actually tapping in parallel quantum processing, you've
Right.
got a beast that nothing can stop. Nothing can outcompute it. What would take supercomputers now 10,000 years, what would take AI now 10 years, will literally take quantum processing seconds to minutes to
Milliseconds.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and more basic things, milliseconds. It's already got it. So the anti-data center propaganda has been rampant as far as, oh, it's going to destroy your water supply. No, it's not. They're using it for chilling. It's the cheapest way to chill these systems. On naval ships, they use air chillers. What does that mean? They pump seawater in and simply run air through it like an air conditioner through a coil. And that's how you cool the ships by and large. Not every compartment is cooled that way. They're just taking groundwater, running it through chillers and pumping it back in. Cooling is all it comes down to. And whether they're doing multiple heat exchanges, I don't know the schematics of the thermodynamics behind it. Don't pretend to know, but that is what gets pumped out will get pumped in. It'll actually be filtered. There's not going to add chemicals to it. Stainless steel piping is what they'll use. High grade stainless steel, cold welded, those kind of joints, so that the system will last for years and years and years without corrosion from simple water. You're not pulling in salt water, and water is different from all over the country. They'll be pumping it right back into the ground where it will regain its mineral content again. And the reason we have that all of this and I do understand the land grab aspect. I think we need to be careful with that, because that's going to turn around and bite some people on the ass, whether they're using eminent domain or not. They want large exclusion zones around them. There's so many things, but believe me when I say we have to get to that point. So they're letting a free-for-all happen right now. And there's going to be a lot of mistakes made, unfortunately. And good people will get caught in the gears. I think it'll be as quickly as they get caught, they can be exonerated if they are innocent. But that's not going to continue. But a lot of that is up to the people out. It's up to the American people. You've got to get people in there who understand technology. And this isn't a shameless plug. I know people like Jim, for example, understand technologies. The modular reactor issue. Yes, he knows it very well. Google just is getting delivery on modular reactors. These won't take from your local electrical supply. They'll add to it. They're going to always scale them out more than they need. And those extra reactors, they'll throw online to make up for what to make up for their operating expenses, which will go back out into the grid. So all this stuff that propagandists are ginning up from foreign nations, mainly, not all, against power grids, water supplies, things like that, is all, a lot of it is a bunch of crap. And they've already ginned up people's, and again, they will always take advantage of your better nature. Of course, nobody wants water supplies drained. Of course, people want electrical disturbances kept to a minimum. Storms, freak accidents, trees falling, things like that. But this is all for a bigger goal than most people can wrap their heads around. And we've got to get there first. Whatever nation gets there first wins. It's as simple as that. It's not like the atomic bomb, where it's a goal, and then the hydrogen bomb. The only other bomb you'd want to think of making is a matter-antimatter bomb, but that's not going to do people much good anywhere. So that kind of stopped. And then deployment and execution became the next game. And you can see they're still doing developments in that way. Russia's response with the Satan missile, for example, and basically the reentry vehicle that has a warhead or multiple that bounces around and can go around the South Pole, has almost a limitless supply of, let's say, energy to keep bouncing around before it ever re-enters and comes in. Can't stop it by that point. Delivery systems have been, that's the only way certain countries are upping their threat level against us and others, is to do things like that. It's not that we're not doing that too, but whoever reaches AI singularity, critical mass rather, we're already in the event horizon, in the singularity, critical mass with, and I know critical mass is not related to a black hole, but it's just a term, a metaphor, wins that entire battle, because once you're there, nobody can catch up. It's that simple.
And what
and
is
we've
that?
got to get there first.
Are they looking for
That is
something
where
that
the
can
machine,
just unlock everything?
well, when you say that, yes, but virtually everything, or put you on the path that takes off hundreds of years. We're looking at a brave new world here in ways that we've never seen before. This is what Musk is talking about. This is what others have been talking about, have been cautioning against it. He's concerned with the abuses until we reach that, and then obviously the abuses afterwards. Anytime certain groups attain a certain power level, it will always be passed on to others, whether voted in or not. And the abuses, the capabilities you want, the abuses you don't, because then we're losing our humanity. There's one other step, another stairway, that we're losing our humanity or losing our right to privacy. People in their 20s do not understand what privacy is all about. They're clueless because they've grown up never really having it. And again, here comes the generational dangers, taking their time with the slow walks to, as David Icke says, and no one's put it better, totalitarian tiptoe. That's what people need to be concerned about once critical mass is reached. However, it's going to be difficult then. So people really need to be on top of this subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, because if you get something that can, like, say, oh, well, I can crack into the NSA and I can go launch missiles and do this, and that means it could basically do anything, and then you could have it do good or bad. Here's a
well, invent anything. Imagine inventing, ways of controlling your consciousness, for example. They're on the drawing. They're being researched now.
I'm saying that's already on the block.
Yeah, I tremble. You're getting into quantum mechanics there. Whoever unlocks quantum mechanics first wins. I mean, really unlocks it. But because there's other layers beyond that AI will then bring you into. I would imagine, for example, it will start with sensing equipment for quantum level sensing. We're talking about right now we have these gargantuan neutrino sensors. In Japan has one. We've got one in Antarctica. There's a few around the planet.
Have you seen the Ghost?
But
Have you seen
it gets
the
to that point. What's that?
Ghost? Have you seen the new the quantum equipment that can pick up quarks in space, or quarks, just everywhere?
I've read about that. And
Yeah.
one example of what I'm talking about is the sensor they used, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to find that one pilot in the mountains by the signature of his heartbeat miles away. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of sensing equipment that will bring humanity to a new level of understanding of everything, including, dare I say, consciousness. But I see that happening.
Read up more.
What's that?
Read up more on Google's Willow quantum process.
I know about Willow. Yeah.
What's interesting too is, with all of this going on, is that years in the past, everything that I've seen, or has been used in operational capacity is now being brought off the shelf, and being used in the commercial market now. And it's kind of ironic, and it's kind of funny, because the people that are bringing it off the shelf in the classified capacity, that these tools or instruments or whatever they may be, they're now using it in the commercial market, and they're making millions, if not billions, of dollars on it.
Because
And
they shelved it back in the late 40s, early 50s. They put it on the shelf because they didn't know how to put a meter on it, and now they figured out the meter, and that meter is AI to make money.
It became all the way up until 5 years ago. There's stuff they're pulling off the shelf, and if they can make money on it, and money spurs development. Again, you throw enough money in one direction. I don't care if it's never been invented or even thought of, and that's hard to find, by the way. You throw enough money at it, it'll happen. And that's where your central banks come in, from BIS on down, creating that giant sucking sound that has to keep money moving. Money would move much slower if we had a just world. We don't, never will at this rate. And I'm just saying, this is the reality you've all been living in. Don't let that statement scare you any more than you already might be. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to give you reality of what every one of us is facing. No one gets a pass. I'm not kidding you. That's true. It's been split stream since Bill Binney wrote his programs, and then found out what they were using them for, and became essentially a whistleblower along with Kirk Wiebe. I had the pleasure of speaking with those gentlemen several times. This is some concerning stuff to anyone who is not a sociopathic, power-hungry piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Like us. Like
Yes.
all of us tuning in. I just pulled this up quick as you guys were talking about, data centers and stuff. My buddy who lives in like the Ohio area, he goes, yeah, they want to start putting all these data centers out here, and central Missouri and all this. What he goes, interesting that we're having all these tornadoes and stuff. It's now become Tornado Alley essentially up here. So
Weather's easy, computers are hard.
Yep. Just like, did you see the storm that seemed to have split that night on UFC night? It literally went right.
They were concerned about rain. They were concerned about rain, and I tracked that storm because it went to my north. And I said, DC might get, soaked tonight for the UFC. I said, that's going to suck. And then all of a sudden, my radar just goes, oh, look, it's nice and clear. Gone.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sure.
The storm was upon us. That was actually pretty funny. But dude, guys, I got some doozies for you guys today. I got a bunch of links. I think I've only been through like 2 of like my 400 links. Let's see. But so this one. No, we're good. We're good. I'm loving it. No, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so I'll play this one, and then all right, we'll play this one. And then when I get to the other 2, I want to play 2 in a row for you guys.
Fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed.
Come on, full
and
frame.
you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. Because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it. And I didn't like Syria. I didn't like where 2 hours before we're signing the agreement that there was an attack in Lebanon, in Beirut. It was right in, it wasn't like in the southern side, and it was in Beirut. I did not like that. I let them know that. I didn't like it, not at all. But I think that Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable.
So he's going to want them to do it. And actually, guys, you know what? I want to do this. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to play these two because they need to go back. They absolutely have to go back to back. And you're just going to, I know everybody in the crowd's going to love this as well. Wink, wink. Here we go.
Of Israel.
Oh,
But it
God.
is also my job to represent the importance of Israel to the United States. This is just another reminder that it is your heritage, without a doubt. But, Minister, it is also the heritage of the United States. Without Israel, without the Jewish Foundation, there would not be an America. We owe our very existence to what happened in this land of Israel.
Okay.
But
That was one of two.
Then we'd still exist, but it'd be different.
Hold on. We got one more. We got a counter to that one here.
I saw that attack. I saw where that bomb went. Did you see what happened? That was a vicious, that was too much. You can do too much also. But we've had a very effective relationship. Without us, without the United States, there would be no Israel. Without me, there would be no Israel.
He's
no other
right.
president was willing to do what
He's
I did.
Right.
If it weren't for the United States of America, with me, because Obama was the opposite, Israel would not exist right now. Israel would have been blown off the face of the earth.
Here's the truth.
Oh.
That's verifiably correct. That's verifiably correct. And that doesn't mean that we don't benefit from, for example.
Okay, so screw that, but I did want to chime off a couple of these perhaps.
Well, it'd be nice for them, for example, to ask for nuclear material back in the 60s and 70s, then to set up an entire company, loot land, and take it. Yeah, it'd be nice. And then hold presidents hostage with that since.
Wink,
I'm
wink.
just saying, my opinion, of course.
So the limited stats that Crowder gave us here, which would have taken him 2 minutes. In 1948, Truman recognized Israeli independence 11 minutes after it was declared. In 1973, the U.S. resupplied the IDF with 22,000 plus tons of war materials. Trump withdrew from the JCPOA in 2018 and reimposed sanctions on Iran. From 46 to 2024, the U.S. has given Israel $244 billion in military aid. I care about a nation being grateful and understanding that they have to fall in line with us, not the other way around. So I needed to play those back to back because you had Huckabee out there saying, the United States wouldn't, exist if it wasn't for Israel. And I'm just like, dude, I think he's either being held hostage or I don't know if we'll ever see
Or he's
Huckabee.
out in the cold, or he's playing a part. I don't know which one it is. You have to make that assessment for yourself. It's never one thing. Oh, Huckabee said this, and that's what he said, and he said it, and he meant it.
Or his back
that's
pocket
never
got
the
a big
story.
wad of money.
Exactly. Or some things sprung up in Arkansas. Who knows?
But I mean, it's laughable though. I mean, we do know that they did due to the movies and things like that, they had certain things of like Americana, but I don't know. They make it sound like, if Israel was never around, we would have never found beaches and picnics. Like we would have never had that happen. That was one of the things way back in the day. Oh, they basically formed your modern life, and through the movies, it was all the picnics, and I'm like, yeah, I'm figuring we probably would have figured out how to go take a dip in the pond or the pool or whatever. But yeah, this whole thing, I think it's just a big flashing neon light. And let me just tell you where I'm at with this one, guys. Right here.
It's all been made hypersensitive because of the psyop that's gone for generations of anti-Semitism that
Yep.
was set by the very people that benefit from it ultimately. And
100%.
I'm not making judgments. And anybody, look, I'm the least anti-Semitic guy on the planet. I just got called today from a 17-year friend in Israel, and I just found it very interesting, the dichotomy of what they're hearing versus what we're hearing. However, there's higher games afoot. I'll only say much of my analysis of them because I'm not gonna piss on anybody's parade ever. So do the math. It's there. Everything is there for everyone to do it. But if you think that that's the way Huck, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know who sat with him and briefed him. You don't know what game's being played. But anybody who's in that game knows the games are being played.
100%.
And we're seeing things. We're seeing a kind of what I would call a separation, not a rift, not a divide, a separation. A separation based on what's best for this country, not anybody else. And this is where people have had too many problems, and what has fed their PDS a little bit has been that very thing. I got a call coming in. I got to take. I'm going to step off for a minute.
Go ahead, bud. Yeah, I just think it's interesting. And again, I go back to even like the Joe Kent stuff and even Candace and Tucker to a certain extent. Like, I don't know which one of these people are meant to, put out this message so we do discuss this stuff, or which people are genuinely have a stiffy against them. But here's me quoting myself. Spaceshot many moons ago. It will never be enough for them. We want to stop Iran from having nukes, and Israel wants to turn them into a parking lot. Or at least that's the outward, what it seems like to everybody, right? And he keeps having these kind of pushbacks with Bibi, and he said it again the other day. He's having these riffs. And again, I don't know if they are fake riffs or what they are, or if that guy's even alive, Mr. Six Fingers at the coffee shop. I don't know. I don't know. Anybody got anything else you want to add to this particular one here?
In their world, his numbers are in the tank. He's down to a favorability of 27% there, which is not good. So either they're going to play him out, right? Because before October 7th, they were on the verge of a civil war amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And then October 7th happened. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, enemies at the gate. Forget the politics. We got to go attack. There you go. Right? After him being warned by other intel agencies that you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. It took 10 to 15 days before they got hit, and they didn't do anything about it. That was, in my opinion, that was their staged 9/11. Period.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think it was at least 3 different former IDF soldiers that came out. I remember the one woman specifically. She's like, whatever they're telling you, that is complete bullshit. She said, I used to have to go to the border to reset the alarms because they would be triggered from insects. And she says, but we're supposed to believe that for 7 hours they came into our country and nobody did a damn thing about it. Complete BS.
Correct.
And for the people that can't see that still, you're just too far gone. Hey, Mike?
From what I've heard is, it's they knew about the operation, in advancement. I don't want to give a timeline, but they knew about it in advancement. And, and I found that out about a year ago. And so it just reminded me kind of like Pearl Harbor, when Pearl Harbor happened. They knew about it, but they didn't
Great
say
example.
anything. And, it's similar playbook. Yeah, they did know about it. They didn't act on it. They let it happen.
It was part of the plan.
It's part of the plan.
Part of the plan.
Kind of like
Yep.
a
Here's
new-
something else you may want to look into, Space Shop, before you continue. And again,
Sure.
it's chatter. I have no proof on this. It's chatter.
Oh,
But yep, they said that that POTUS was seriously advised that the July 4th celebration up in DC should be held around the reflection pond for the general public. I don't know why, but I just found that a little odd. Don't know.
One thing I heard about the reflecting pool this week is now they're saying, oh, it's all green again, and they're dumping all these chemicals into it. And I'm like, well, one of my old former jobs about 20-something years ago, I had to become a certified pool operator. I was working at a hotel, right? And so I had to do that. And, oh, yeah, how do you keep a pool clean? Yeah, you put chemicals in them. You know, you put chemicals in them. So the people that are like
get
busting
rid of
his
the
beans.
bacteria and all that stuff.
And it's tough to do, though, especially with one, you know, that's a big pool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a lot of water in there, too. So you got to constantly get that stuff, you know, keep it filtered and that, what do you call it, the cleaner stuff. I forgot all the stuff. Sodium bicarbonate, I think we put in one of them for to
Chlorine.
Yeah, one of them to lessen and raise up the pH. And I remember, what was the other one? Was it chlorine? I think that if you inhaled it, you could pass out, right? That was there was one of the chemicals there that they would tell us, like, you're too close to it, you can literally pass out. So yeah, but yeah, I hadn't heard the other part about the reflecting pool, but
the problem is it's a very open space, so there's very little cover. And you know how many people are going to be there for the 250th? I mean, that's like shooting fish in a barrel. I'm sorry, you know,
Yeah.
just is.
Yeah, and then they would not do anything that they wouldn't be able to protect themselves, or you know, or President Trump specifically. I think, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But this one, I was overplaying this video. I thought this was pretty interesting. It says President Trump is about to let Iran sell oil on the market as part of the terms of the deal. Iran is not going to get a single dollar from American taxpayers, and the $300 billion from the U.S. was a fabricated lie. Quote, we learned why the Iranians are eager to sign on to this thing. Turns out, per the Wall Street Journal, Iran will soon get to start selling oil again on the global marketplace. That's their main money maker, from Peter Doocy, Trump the deal maker. I mean, what a great change it would be if that could happen. And I don't know how good it would be for the people of Iran as well. So that would be a good thing. And let's see, what's oil price today? Because I'm guessing it's probably going down and down and down. 75, am I seeing right?
I believe it was $75 a barrel last I saw.
Wow. Let me see.
But then you got the other mega horn heads around here saying, yeah, but it could go down to 55, or the sweet spot, which for the Texas boys, the sweet spot for crude here is anywhere between $60 to $65 a barrel. That's the sweet spot for them, where they still make money. But they're saying, oh yeah, but we're not going to see effects at the gas pump for at least a year before that is reflected here. I'm like,
Kiss my
why?
ass. Yep.
I'm like, why? That's just ridiculous, right?
Oh, it's big time ridiculous. I think we're the
oil is priced on speculation, man, not on, you know, I don't know where they get their information from, but whatever.
They just want to make money. They're greedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to is money in the pockets. You know, money in a reserve, money in the coffers. You know, it's if they wanted to change, you know, because we filled up gas today, and it was $5.49,
Oof.
and before the the whole thing with Iran and Trump, came to an end, it was $5.89, and that was for regular gas. The highest we saw at the height was actually in LA it was like $8.13 for regular.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Gas taxes. That's another thing that needs to be looked at too, is
Totally.
state gasoline taxes, man. And I know California, New York, cities like that, they're getting raped. They just are.
Yeah.
And they're really quick to jack up the price. I mean, within what, 2 hours of us hitting Iran this last time to start it off, I went to the gas station 3 hours afterwards, and they had already raised the prices up. And it's like, dude, they bought that oil. Yeah, right. They bought that oil months and months ago, if not a year ago.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? It's called speculation, not real time. It's not. It's all speculative, and they don't care. They don't care because they know people that need gas to get to work, grocery shopping, whatever urgent matters come up, and they're going to pay for it. They got to bite their upper lip just like we all do, and we just got to pay. Period. That's it.
That's true. And guys, I found out something yesterday while I was doing a show mid-show, and I'm going to show you guys another example of this right now. So just for simplicity, I'm running the live stream on Chrome, right? And I am setting up my my links over here on Chrome, and then over, as you guys see, some of you guys can see on the live stream, I have Brave here. So I'm running the Brave here, no ads, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Who's the biggest oil exporters? Well, Saudi Arabia is the world's largest oil exporter of crude oil, followed by Russia, Norway, UAE, and Canada. Well, that's interesting because when I put the same question into Google, well, what did it tell me? Here's Google. The United States is now the world's top oil exporter, shipping 10.5 million barrels per day. And then they say United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Canada, and the UAE. Russia, Saudi Arabia, Norway, UAE, Canada. Where's America on here? And it's just weird that it's on Brave, that it's not showing it, but Google is. That's just weird. So just beware out there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's by 2022.
Oh, top oil by 2022. And say, yeah, so why
by
would they even do that?
2022?
How about currently? Currently. Here we go. Still says Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's just given two different. I mean, and then you could go over to Grok and ask it something, then go ask ChatGPT something, and they'll give you two different answers as well. So people have to be very, very careful out there the way and the manner in which you're getting your information. It's getting ridiculous out there. Let me see. Oh,
I asked my buddy Habib Patel at the BP station across from the office. Hey man, what's up with gas? Oh, I think it's going to go down. But, if you pay cash, you get 20 cents cheaper. You use credit or debit, it's 20 cents more.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Pay cash.
Yeah.
Pay cash.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, I got a funny one for you guys. It's not meant to be a funny clip, but I think you'll find it funny. You got President Trump over here at the G7.
He got duped.
And then Zelensky comes walking over here. So pop it up here, and he sees him. Oh, hey, dink. Yeah, we're out of here. And Zelensky's got the face like, hey, you got a couple dollars?
The dancing Zorba. He just got doped. Yeah, and then you see Carney a little bit later whispering in POTUS's ear about making a deal when it comes to buying Chinese electric cars. And he's like, yeah, I think that's good. Good idea for you. Yeah, you should.
Was that Rubio right there with the cringy hug at the end? What's the face?
Yeah,
I think
you can tell by the ears.
Yeah.
He had that face like kind of like that face.
You're screwed.
Like,
we know about the biolabs. You're screwed.
Yeah, smiley on the way in, and then on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be near you, guy. Dude, he's like the weirdo uncle nobody wants, at the dinner table, sitting next to them. He's just hitting everybody up from. Hey, you gotta. He's like the kid in elementary school, not elementary school, middle school and high school, that you'd be sitting at the cafeteria, you'd walk over and be like, "Hey, dude, you got a dime? I want to get some fries." Hey, you got a dime? You got a nickel? Like that's he's the French fry guy of the world now, coming around and just doing his shtick there. But I think everybody's done with it. Yes, sir.
In the beginning of the war of Ukraine, we're conducting operations, and I remember that a couple different reactors got hit. Nuclear reactors over there got hit, and they were sabotaging them to blow up and stuff. And now reflecting on it, past couple of years now, it gives me I'm questioning everything to where, like, okay, there's we have some Russian Spetsnaz that are supposed to be in there setting everything up and working with Maxar, and Maxar's pulling everything up on satellite, and we have image analysts going over everything. And then we get the feedback in. Oh yeah, it's Spetsnaz, sabotaging everything. And now years later, and I'm questioning myself, like, was it really that? Was it really Russia, or was it really just him pretending? He did do damage to the reactors, and they almost did, go kaboom, almost. And but was it really him that just did it to draw more people in?
Draw more money.
And to let you know, like, this is like the very, very beginning, like, a weeks and not even like a full month. With the power plants and, fighting in the industrial infrastructure city, there's so much I can go into with, over there in the war and the beginning of it. But it's just, for this part, it's just like, I don't believe everything that we were given information wise, that, oh yeah, it's Russia, it's Russian infantry, it's Russian Spetsnaz, it's Russian whatever, and they're doing this and that, and now I sit back and I look at all the the reports and information, and now I question it, and I'm like, I'm wondering if it was him this whole time setting it up just to draw us in, because our NIST guys had to go in there and clean everything up and fix it. Our nuclear people, then the International Atomic Coalition people had to go in there and clean everything up and patch it up. And it's just like, you did this, and of course, by doing this, you got a lot of money out of it.
Oh, you
And-
gotta, Doc,
yeah.
you gotta remember too. You gotta remember too. Zelensky was running his own psyop
Oh yeah.
on his own people at the behest of who? Biden, the auto pen, Obama,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, because that was their major washing machine to launder money. Money laundering, cover up the kids, the tunnels, the trafficking, the biolabs, cover all that shit
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Right?
so we with the biolabs, with the other teams we're assisting, we did 4 biolabs over there in the beginning. And yeah, so we had 4 biolabs in the beginning over there, and I'll keep it very vague about it because it's still classified, but yeah, there was 4 over there, and let's just say the paper and documents on the coffee tables or in the break room, they were in English. So
Oh shit.
it's it's
There you go.
it's very distasteful, to be told one thing, and then I go talk to my colonel, and we have the same agreement, but whatever it is, still got to finish the mission, and mission first. And it's just at the end of the day, it's just I start tracking some of the stuff, finances, and there's tons of money. Like, if the world ever learned about how much money actually went over there, our country would go insane. Like, it would just go insane. I'm just from the perspective of how much, from just from what I was looking at, and it's just ridiculous.
I've seen
and
reports that it was the GDP of the entire globe minus us. Think
it would
about that
probably
level.
I could go with that, and probably you could add a couple pluses to it. Yeah, I would agree.
Jeez.
The other thing, oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, man. It was the deep state's washing machine. Okay, for washing money was Ukraine. I mean, it's out there. I mean, look at you got it up on screen right now. Look at what Tulsi just dropped. Right? Just read it.
You want to hear something cute? And so this is in relation to this story right here. One of my buddies, who's just not quite getting the whole gist of everything that's going down and the way things are being laid out, and it's really unfortunate because he's a smart dude. He actually made the statement to me that it was really brave of Tulsi to leave this, to let this information out before she left. And I was just like, really? Like, you're not seeing it, dude? She did this on her own? You really think she did this on her own, like, to spite Trump or to go against anything that Trump wanted laid out? Like, I think this is, like, perfectly laid out exactly how we wanted it to, in the time and manner in which they wanted it laid out. And her dropping it out, being brave, oh my God. Like, I can't with some people. It's just ridiculous. But to Armando's point, Tulsi Gabbard on Friday revealed... Oh, good. We're doing the bio labs and how Tulsi had revealed there are more than 120 taxpayer-funded biolabs located in 30 countries, and a specifically very important line here. And the Biden administration, quote, threatened people who attempted to expose their existence. She alleges an intentional cover-up by powerful figures, including Fauci, the Biden administration, regarding the existence and gain-of-function research conducted at these labs, some in high-risk areas such as Ukraine. So, Ghost, I made a statement. I don't know if you wanted to comment on this, or if not, just move on and comment on this in general. But here's I was saying before you came back on, that one of my buddies, and it's unfortunate because he's a smart dude, made a comment the other day that, it was really brave of Tulsi to let this information out before she left office. And I was like, dude, you're not seeing like what's going on here? And apparently he's thinking that she did this like on her own, like some sort of like, loose cannon, and she's doing it, and she's so brave to do this. Like, and I'm just like, dude, I cannot with this type of shit. Like, how can you not see it?
That narrative doesn't exist, though they'll let it foster, and certain people might need it to foster, but that's just a normal story, a narrative that people will run with. And yes, she was brave to do a lot of the stuff she's done, and 120 is a little more than that, but I think they want to soften the blow. And you're talking about Ukraine. I was talking about this before that war ever started. That's one of the reasons he's going in there. And then people are in denial, thinking that genetic weapons aren't a thing. No, they were working on them 40 years ago. Okay. And now it's possible to kill an individual based on their genome. So let's not be under any illusions with reality. This is some serious stuff. And what I was saying about AI, I'll leave it with this. What I was saying about AI before, imagine if a couple of wackadoodles from anywhere in the world get in their basement lab and they've got access to AI that can help them figure out biological and chemical reactions and extrapolate them at a rate that a human mind just can't do. And they can even run with all of the data on chemistry and physics in these things. Imagine if a couple of truly depraved sons of bitches got together who were skilled in microbiology, and they have their own freestanding AI that's loaded up on everything to the latest minute with microbiology. Imagine what they could do. It's not pretty. It's not like the labs they found in Vegas and near Los Angeles. They're still doing it the old way.
Yep.
When these things come online, it truly is concerning, all of that. And that's just one area of expertise and weaponry. That's what it is, would be weaponry, WMD. And this is just one area that is very concerning to think about.
How many labs did they report, Spaceshot?
120. They're saying there are more than 120 in 30 different countries. It's like, why the hell do you need 100 of them?
No, add a zero, another zero to that 120.
Think so?
Rule of thumb.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing, like, no good is coming from all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're making weapons and stuff like that out of it. So clearly it's not a good thing. And to Ghost's point, Putin said, we're going to go in there and clean up and demilitarize and denazify the area over there. And I don't want people to get it mistaken. I absolutely love what Tulsi did, and I think what she did was absolutely great. But I also think they've already war gamed this and game planned this stuff out, and I think they're releasing it on their timeline. Not that she went out and did it on her own. But this is huge because we're finally getting facts on this stuff. It's absolutely monstrous. I got a question quick on the AI stuff, and I probably know the answer, but I don't know. I feel like, what are the odds that somebody has already reached that area? Would we already know it, or somebody had already reached the level in AI? Yeah, like maybe somebody has it and they're kind of squirreling it away.
That's another level, bro.
Yeah, you wouldn't, and that level still has to be fully mapped out and kinks working out. That's just where it is. And quantum systems are not new. They're only new to the public, and they've been in place in actually certain operations at a rudimentary level since the late 90s, early 2000s. So let's not kid ourselves with all this. It's way far ahead. The build out of the data centers has a purpose. I just don't want to see it handed over to a domestic Gestapo. And that's when younger generations will get scared before they get smart.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting for sure.
Kids need to be up to speed on this. They got their faces buried in devices all day long. They need to know that everything they say, everything they do, everything they've ever done from the first time they picked it up has been split streamed and stored away in some very massive facilities that existed a long time ago. This is not new. They're over 30 years in the making. You want to go back to the origin. There's a good 4-part documentary out there. I forget the title. Damn. It's about the one Indian reservation in Southern California and a few other things that tied into, and some of the actual brains and the games that have to be played when you're doing things like the missiles not missiles, but weapons for hostages. I'm thinking Iran missiles, but the Iran-Contra thing. And when Oliver North was on trial, it was still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And concessions were still being made. One reason, this will help the audience in their thinking, we had 3 mountaintop stations in northern Iran, listening stations, that at that time were state-of-the-art ground transmissions throughout most of the Soviet Union. And the whole deal with them, and the whole thing about, they've always been a pain in the ass, make no mistake about it, because of these wackadoodle, Islamic extremists. But those listening stations were important. Until they could have been fully replaced, you had to play ball if you wanted that intel. And that was, you could listen to maneuvers, you could listen to everything from those stations. So they wanted to keep, and that wasn't the only game going on there. And I mean, I have a relative by marriage that was working the whole Iranian thing before, during, and after. And people are making a big deal that Reagan had made a deal with them about the hostages. Probably did. But it was also to benefit the country ultimately. And this is what you can disagree with what I'm saying all day long, but no matter how you do the math, that's how it works out, whether you like it or not. There's a lot of things that happen I don't like, but I understand the, let's say, utility behind it. When it gets overboard towards the corporations and fat ass profit as opposed to profit, I got an issue with it. Shut the lobbyists up. You're effing up other endeavors such as agency that you don't need to be effing up. And then they got to clean up the mess, or they got to open up new doors that are very difficult to open. And a lot of hinky shit is done in doing this. It's the reality of it.
Yep.
And it keeps this country first and safe. I know a lot of people like to live out there in La La Land and think, oh, we can, this whole liberal nonsense thinking. That's just unenlightened thinking. Simple as that. As soon as someone reaches a certain tipping point, they never go back. And a lot of them, out of ego and pride, will maintain their worldview and say, well, this is evil and that's evil. Be careful of what you label good and evil, especially these days and what we're coming into with AI. It's going to be a shit show in the beginning. I think we're going to have a good 5, 7, possibly 10 years of nonsense just from AI's implementation alone. But that's an issue for the American public and to do something about. But we're there, and it's not going back.
To your point on Ollie North and the Iran Contra affair, I was deployed during that time off the coast of Nicaragua in real time. You know what our mission was? We were there to clean up. We never got the opportunity.
You didn't pick up the pieces and sail off?
We were the mop squad. We were there for cleanup. That was it. I remember that like yesterday.
Yeah.
It was Ollie North, Poindexter, and who was the other one that was supposed to, Casey. He was supposed to take the stand the next day to testify and come clean on everything and stuff like that. Oh my God. News flash.
He had a stroke.
He had a brain aneurysm. Okay, case closed. Bye. Nothing to see here. Whatever.
And this is just how it's. I think some changes can be made, but that's me. The math still comes down to human nature, yes, but endeavor. What is their endeavor? And believe me, right now, every day, people in this country are suffering economically because of foreign propagandists.
Mm-hmm.
And until they layer it out, parse it out, and attack it, as far as the media is concerned, it's going to continue. This is what I try to get people to be mindful. We all three of us try to get people to be mindful of this, the slog of nonsense that you're going to get, even from home at times. Someone thinks there's a reason for it. There probably isn't. Their brain's not working at full capacity. I see that all too often. That's just, again, my opinion. I'm sure there's some folks out there listening that don't listen, but listen anyway. They're saying, oh, well, if you think it's so easy, come do it. Well, no, shut up. You know what I'm saying? And, it just is what it is. But it's best to be armed with at least the knowledge and a realistic perspective towards it.
Such a fearmonger.
I guess when you cross a certain point with reality, people will, again, just like they'll say, well, conspiracy theory. You were taught to say that. And you were taught to say, you're porn. Well, no. Just because something scares you that's really happening, that's not someone telling you that, their intention. That's someone trying to help you understand. And that's all it comes down to.
True. I mean, this stuff is huge. I'm loving the way this stuff's coming out. Mike, did you want to say anything on this matter, my man? Good?
Yeah, with DNI, Tulsi is, but even before she got into office, she's such a good person, and to have her as the director, for the amount of time that we've had her as the director, she's, behind the scenes, she's done amazing things, and sometimes these things, they don't get out into the general public, and the general public doesn't get to see it, due to secrecy and being confidential. But she's an amazing person, and I would hazard the guess there's maybe one or two more, and I'm just making an assumption. Just by knowing her, is that there would probably be maybe one or two more things that may come out. And and I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna be pretty big. So I give her the credit she's due. She's definitely earned it.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of funny too. Right at the same time, where she releases the information, and Hunter Biden comes out on Facebook and talking about recovery, and in all essence, if he's in recovery, good for him. I'm glad he's in recovery. Glad he's taking care of his body. Good for him. On the other side of the horse is there was things done that he did, and part of recovery is making amends and
Owning up to that shit.
owning up to it, the whole 12-step process. The 12-step process. And so hopefully, or maybe, in some way or another, that he'll come out and, do what's right. And
Not likely.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, this is quite timely. I just had to I had to go to my email for signing in for TikTok for one of the clips I'll show in a little bit. I think Mike had sent it in, but as I was checking my email, one of our longtime viewers, I affectionately call them by their screen name, one of 18, because they're one of 18 children. But they sent me this picture, and I cropped it out, so the rest of it is basically showing other things you guys don't need to see. We don't need to dox anything, but I clipped out just the specific area that was meant to convey the message here. This is pretty interesting. So she said, my son's friend goes to this school. So check this out, guys. Student athletes, it says, sports physicals are done primarily to make sure you're not at high risk for sudden cardiac death on the playing field. COVID vaccination affects your risk. In response to worldwide experience in vaccine adverse event monitoring, we are adopting a more precautionary sports physical sign-off policy. If you have received doses of any COVID shot, we will not be able to clear you to compete in sports without performing lab work and possibly an echocardiogram to rule out potential heart damage. That's good, I guess, but is that proving the fact that we know that they have bad reactions? I mean, we were laughed at essentially in the beginning. This is
I mean, probably some good doctors in the local area got together and had some influence, because that's the truth, what you're seeing. But where is this?
That would have been, I could tell you the place. It's
You
well,
just
I
say
don't want to.
state.
Yeah, it's Virginia. It's out of Virginia.
Okay.
Well, that fits for Virginia.
Yeah.
Right. But, we do know that early on, I was trying to warn people essentially against the vaccines. Like, we had that video that somebody put out on Rumble, which was like 2 minutes of people collapsing on the sports field, all these younger people. And then they later updated that video. That video, the last one I saw, was almost 3 hours long. And they didn't spend a minute on each person. They were like, 22-year-old kid, college, dies on the baseball field. Boom, next one. 18-year-old kid. And it's like, that went on for almost 3 hours. So yeah, it was really, really bad, clearly. And
it was in front of everyone. And it's not that people weren't saying that. And I'd like to see some, no matter what it was all about, I'd like to see a few people sit in the hot seat for their sociopathic agreements.
Yeah.
I was just following orders.
Bullshit.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Bull crap. Yeah.
You can always resign. Maybe with Hitler you'd resign and die, but you could always resign. But you're not going to necessarily die today if you cover your bases right, and you've gotten yourself into that position because you played a lot of stupid games with a lot of the wrong parties around the planet.
Yeah.
And this is ultimately what we're going up against. It's a way bigger freaking game than do you support this country or that, or do you like? I think it was brilliant the one answer Jerry Seinfeld gave when the guy said free something about free Palestine, and he looked at him after smiling, he said Palestine doesn't exist, and he's right.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger problem with a bigger solution, but that doesn't necessarily mean the United States has to be used more liberally than it should. And that's just, I'm sorry, that's reality too.
Yeah,
That
we don't
doesn't
need to be the
mean
police.
I don't do I support any certain country out there? Damn well do. One, and it's called the United States of America.
Hoorah! Quick question, guys. Have you guys all seen the movie Coming to America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, who hasn't?
Well, then I'm especially.
Good morning, my people.
Think you'll love this one then.
But I've been watching you all evening, and I want to tear you apart. And your friend, too. But I've been watching you all evening.
That's Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, that was
That's Arsenio Hall.
that would have been
Yeah.
Arsenio. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good one.
that would have been Arsenio Hall.
That was damn good one. Hulk dropped this one for me. Machiavelli Memes makes a lot of good, funny ones there as well. While I got the mic, let me also just quickly thank Lee337Q, who gifted a subscription to the channel a little while ago. Do appreciate that, Lee. And MacGyver dropped a $2 super chat. I got it right, bang. On YouTube says, dang, I'm late to the show. Hey, but you're here, and you can always watch the beginning a little bit later. You can zoom back or catch up to us. But I do appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen out there. Where else are we gonna go, guys? Oh, good.
I got a question for the panel here.
Nice.
When do you guys feel that AI hit the mainstream full bore? What year?
Well, I mean, as far as
17.
the public, you mean?
It
Like, as
was
far as...
it was floating around in science fiction series for years.
Yeah. No,
before
but I mean, it's here, it's real, and pedal to the metal. Here we go. what
probably
year,
just 2
25?
years ago. I don't know.
Say 2020, 2020, 2021.
Okay,
4 or 5, be my guess.
September 26th of 2008.
Yeah.
Let your memory travel back to that time year. Okay,
September what?
26th of 2008.
The
That was the-
theoretical aspects of this have been known since the 50s and 60s and 70s. It
No,
just grew.
No.
But the public,
I get that.
they got their spoon fed beginning then.
I get that. What was the clear indicator that hit the silver screen? September 26th of 2008. I just saw it again yesterday. Just, the way my mind works, trying to connect dots. That was
Well,
the
wasn't
movie.
there a movie Spielberg made called AI? That was quite a while ago.
No. I'm talking about realistic shit. Military realistic shit. That was the movie Eagle Eye.
Oh, so maybe I could cheat.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Dude,
remember
What about-
that.
I saw that again just yesterday. Okay. If that doesn't tell you the story of where we are now, I don't know what will.
That's the one with the
Yeah.
twin, right? He's got the twin that was the army.
Yeah, his twin brother. That
Yeah.
was an excellent movie.
Isn't that
not gonna lie.
Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf,
is
yeah.
that
She was in it, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
if
Michelle Monaghan.
Monaghan. So if anybody hasn't seen it, essentially, I'll just read them the bio here. Essentially, action with all these folks here. The plot follows two strangers, which is this girl, Michelle Monaghan, and Shia LaBeouf, who are forced to go on the run together after receiving a mysterious phone call from an unknown woman who uses information and communications technology to track their every move. But they are literally like, it's kind of like how I would explain what we were talking about earlier. Like when AI gets control and they can do anything, it's pretty much like that movie. Like that AI was set up and like He had a twin brother that was in the military, really high up with the, you know, computers and stuff. And because he was the twin, he could activate some of the things that were in it. But, you know, they were going to, like, you know, go to this area, you know, make the red light green and unlock this and shut this camera off and do whatever they needed at rapid pace. So that was
And you know
2008,
what?
huh? Wow.
That is baby shit compared to what AI can do.
And
That's
that's
a
where
baby
that's where I was leading to. So if this was in 2008, and I've been looking at the chat here, right? If this was in 2008, where are we today?
Much further than that, right?
Yeah.
What are we capable of today at the military level? Let's just leave that one there.
So okay, here's a curveball, and if there's people in the audience that know about this, then you know, if you know, you know. So let's go back about to, let's just call it COVID, 2019, 2020. And if you work in the government and in a communications or SIGINT capacity, ELINT capacity, you may know. And this has to do with AI. So there was a program called Tyler. And they called it Tyler because they gave the name Tyler based off the movie of Tyler Durden off of Fight Club.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, something went wrong. So from that time frame until present, Tyler, the AI itself, jumped out. I am not a computer engineer, so I don't know how to specifically say the correct nomenclatures or the names or phrases for this. So they were gonna kill Tyler, the AI platform. So think of something like Anthropic, right? So Tyler was Anthropic. Tyler was ChatGPT. Okay, well, Tyler at the time under, let's just say under DARPA, but it was actually somebody else.
Did
So
it parse itself up and bury on the internet?
So Tyler,
Okay.
So Tyler decided to do its own thing and jumped out of the system, and nobody could find it. And until about 3-4 months later, it surfaced in someone in the U.S. Department of Justice was, doing their tech stuff, and noticed some inquiry searches going on, and noticed that it was some type of automation system doing it by itself, and then a DOJ SIS team was established to take it on. And Tyler, since then, is MIA, still out there. They're still out there looking for Tyler. And it's actually kind of eerie to think about it, because I can't tell you the specifics of what Tyler has done or has done or did or is still doing. But it goes just along with the movie Eagle Eye. And I'm sure out there on the Wayback Machine or the internet or dark web, you can find something on Tyler, the AI system, and it's something to look into and research. If you're in school and you want to write an article or a thesis in your computer engineering, this would be something to write on. And the thing is that you don't find Tyler. Tyler finds you. And
you know what, Mike? I'll tell you. I'll give you one theory on how that's done. Having been next to computers since 1979, it can bury itself in 50 iterations of code. So the code they're looking for is 50 iterations different from a code that actually works that might be something very harmless. So it'll never appear on their radar. But once you unlock that, you unlock the next layer and the next and the next, all the way back. But you got to go back 50 layers. I'm not exaggerating. Even more than that, potentially. Could be unlimited. It could be rolling or evolving, constantly burying itself in other code that it creates, how it puts it out there, and how it protects itself with all of the, let's say, filings and other types of bureaucratic stuff that have to be done with programs. If it masks itself well enough, okay, even if you do find it, you got to unlock 50 iterations. I'm thinking cryptographically, minimum. And I wouldn't be the ones having to be tasked on that problem. That's going to eat up a lot of resources.
Yeah,
And
and
the only thing to do that is stick a better AI on it.
well, kind of a funny thing about it too, or not. I mean, it's funny, but not funny. It's so there was traces of finding Tyler. Is that Tyler would embed itself, it would plant itself into computers and servers that were not connected to the internet. They were not connected to anything at the time, and somehow Tyler got into those and stayed there.
It knew
And
how
then
people were
would jump out.
bringing, yeah, it knew how people were bringing intermittent batches of data into that other system. So it's going to find a way, and the timing. It's going to know it'll never sleep. This is not a complex problem to see. It's a complex problem to solve. Imagine when they become so complex you can't even see them.
That's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Called the mirror effect.
Yeah.
The mirror effect, when you can be looking at yourself, an image of yourself in the mirror, and you're talking to the image in the mirror, but you don't know if that image is actually real or not even you.
It's all happening in your brain. It's all happening in your brain.
Exactly.
You never see
you can go,
as others see you.
Guys, I see the comments scrolling here in the chat about movies and going back, and stuff like that. Look, I also, because I geeked out, okay, and I just went down that path as far as movie watching was going on. I just did, just to try to connect more dots in my head. And I actually saw the very first release of Stargate.
Oh,
that was an incredible movie. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, we probably have that. It's probably somewhere. It's been reported all over, conspiracy theory, UFO shit, stuff like that over there, all over YouTube. And guy, I'm just saying, man, I can't even begin to imagine what we currently have today, military-wise. It's got to boggle your freaking brain. It just does. It has to.
This is where I'm saying the disconnect with where technology really is and where it's rapidly approaching, and I'm giving that a 3-year window max, and where people's minds are on it are 2 to 3 decades apart.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's another issue. I don't think we should conduct our affairs that way. However, it's up to other nations what they do, of course. And then other nations are just not going to have the resources and are going to get caught in the middle. And this is all just, wargaming this stuff out over time. You see all of this, and if the capabilities are there. When it got into standalone systems, it knew when they transferred data, what they transferred, and inserted itself in there very, very stealthily. And over time, I would imagine it made the full transfer to what it needed in that system to get back when it transfers, so they wouldn't even see the other data being placed back on a medium or however the connection was made, whether it was plugs in and out of a fiber optic system or what have you. It would have been that it would have easily been able to discern those patterns through just historical recognition and present activities and make the jump. So I know China set up a banking system that is completely separate from everything. No, it isn't. Nothing is completely separate from anything in that world. Nothing.
Wow. I was playing a little bit of the clips of that stuff, talking about the how it was running red lights and whatnot. But yeah, technology is wild. Can't wait to see what
And
comes
I want
out
to get
next.
into a self-driving car. Fuck that shit.
Hell no, dude. Did you see the one that got in the middle of
Excuse my language, but I mean, it is that serious. Okay, this guy's being a pain in the ass. Drive him into that pole or over that cliff or through that guardrail. You think I'm joking? I'm not. And these laws, these pansy ass laws they're coming out with, saying you can't tamper with it. I can tamper with any damn thing I pay for. I don't give a damn about your federal statutes or U.S. code. You're full of shit. That's unconstitutional. We're either going to follow it or we're not. And we haven't. But let's try to start now before it's too late. It's not going to get any better. It isn't. I
you guys
could have the whole guts of the car ripped out and put a whole different engine and transmission in there if I want. It's mine. It's my private consumer item as a means of travel. It's not a vehicle or that I ask for. I trade my rights for privileges to drive just because I got a driver's license. No, I put a little extra ditty with my signature and they didn't say a word. It stood for 30 days. It's mine. And only very few people understand what I'm saying in and out of everything, including the legal system, because I know what a one-sided, uninformed adhesion contract is. It means you never have to see it or read it. It was up to you to find it. How many people go looking for it? 1 in 20 million, if that.
Nobody.
I'm not kidding you. It's that's your rarefied air on this planet, the ones who understand how these things work. I could say them, it's easily dismissed, but there's a certain tone that is in every medical machine that takes your heartbeat, for example. A certain tone when you flatline. Find out what the megahertz of that code is. And there's something that relates to a subject we were going to talk about, near-death experience, that tone has something to do with. When you sign on a solid black line on any contract, that's a flat line.
Not though, right?
The new interpretation of that is a flat. In other words, you're a dead entity signing away for the living. All of that stuff. There are 85% of those aspects are true. We know it's true. We've tested it. It's gone to the Supreme Court of England. It's gone to every court here, and they don't want to touch it. For those rare judges who do know what I'm talking about. So everything is a hoodwink. I hate to sound so negative about it. I'm going to laugh because I have to. But
go on YouTube.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
As you can see, let me try to turn this off. Here we go. 2 weeks after I.
So
I'm bringing this.
Hey, what's up with Gavin too? Another one to look at. What's up with Gavin Newsom and his wife being investigated now? And now he's like in total shutdown panic mode.
Yeah. Oh, he's freaking out about the grand juries, which is interesting to bring up, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, there's money laundering there with her, especially, or something.
It goes deep. It goes way deep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I got a couple links on that, but I just wanted to bring this one really quick past your, to folks' attention. Ghost, how was I able to purchase this vape tank off of Amazon while not using my bank that I use, not using a debit card, not using a credit card? Although I did link my Amazon account to America's First Federal Credit Union from Montgomery, Alabama. And somehow the account locked in. Apparently it worked, bro.
And you received it?
I received product, and not only do I have receipt of product, I also have Luis here from Amazon saying, yes, I checked it, payments, and I confirmed the charge was approved. And I also have another video that I could pull up right now calling Telecheck.
Did you
verifying.
approve that charge and make that purchase?
I did. Yep.
Okay, so if you die, it's on you. I ain't gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it was about 2018, 2017. Yeah, right here, 8/31, 2017. So we're talking, 9 years ago. But again, the purchase went through. I found out the information on my Social Security card, the information on the back of it, and I was able to trace it down to that specific bank. I linked it up. Also, back then, you could also call a bank at a certain department, and it would tell you, like, okay, this guy's trying to write me a check for $1 million. Is the money in there? So you could call that number at this bank,
Yes.
and I put in $1 million, and I put in my Social Security number. Okay, that bank's routing number as the routing number, that bank's routing number, and then my Social Security number as the bank account number, and then all my information, where I grew up, the street I grew up on, and then again my Social Security number as my Social Security number, and everything went through. And then what happened was they stopped canceling the thing at the point of purchase, which in this case was Amazon. But they were getting the money. So again, this is kind of the hoodwink stuff, I think, touching into it.
There's a dormant account that exists, but I don't want people running off and with the things that they're seeing out, the psyops that are put out there and saying, oh, well, this is my money, Dan.
Yeah.
No money is anybody's money. Number one, that's why there are so many laws attached to it. You can't attach laws to gold and silver. All right. Keep that in mind. What the caution I would give to everybody, and then I'm going to get back to your issue, would be that if you make any industry remain with paper and notifications and signatures, let it be banking. Because once banking goes the way of all electronic, look, I block cameras physically with little things that you can buy at Amazon and block them with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ever prove that it's me on a system unless you try to pull a biometric forensics, and that's horseshit too, because I could have programmed something to do that. So we've got to keep certain things, let's say, real, if we're going to hold on to humanity. Now, having said that, that account that your Social Security number is tied to, when you make an application for a car, when you pay hospital bills, when you do anything, ultimately, it's already there. How do you think this whole menagerie of smoke and mirrors and shits and giggles globally really runs? It's not that, yes, people's, let's say, everything from pure greed to just desire to thrive in life is fed upon this system. It's an energetic flow system. And I know I can tell you this. I've had 3 now bankers with the least amount of years in banking was 29. A very, very dear friend in Europe who worked for Goldman Sachs, I believe, Northern Europe. And one of his reasons for resigning is no one could tell him how money was really made, how it really comes about, what's it based on. Nobody knew. 29 years in the business, international bond market, all of amazing credentials, and an amazing individual. But even he didn't know. And I spent years explaining how it worked and where it does come from. It's not gold and silver that are most valued, platinum, palladium, rhodium, none of that. It's you. Why do you think murder? It wasn't until it was learned how to profit on murder, not learned, but decided to and then enacted through equations in risk banking systems, that we became less lenient on the idea of murder. Murder is a capital, spelled like you would money, crime. What the fuck's that about? They don't teach you this shit in law school. They don't teach you this shit when you're learning to be an investment banker, or a banker of any kind. Some know, few and far between. Usually, it's the president of a say a chain of banks. They're either read in or they've already been read in because they that's the position they're going to take. a lot less out there is arbitrary and by skill and merit than people would think. Now, you can argue, you can have moral outrage about that statement. And when the abuse of it happens, there's even a higher moral outrage. And very few of us know about it. It doesn't do any good to say anything unless you want some lead in your head. I promise you, it wouldn't be the first. And this is a thing where next time or the time after, we need to get Lord G on.
We can
and let him
long videos on this stuff. And
answer some questions. Exactly. So that what happened to you might have been a glitch, but nobody was going to cop to it.
Yeah.
Why? Who cares?
Yeah,
if they got their
$40.
money. You get a Treasury Direct account, and you'll see how your Social Security is tied to it.
Boom. Well, last thing I'll say on this one, quick, and then we'll move on. Is the line in which you sign checks, but it's under a microscope, and it says authorized signature, authorized signature, authorized signature. Yep. I thought that was implied. I mean, that's where you're signing it.
A whole hell of a lot is under that. That's why if you want to get snarky with them, sign below the line and put your thumbprint on it at a 45-degree angle, and then draw a line over the line. They're not going to not take your check. Oh, they're going to take it. It's got a signature. You just put it where you chose to. So now the question is, and I'm not going to answer it because I leave that with me and Lord G, is it authorized signature or isn't it? Or is it authorized in a secondary way that's just as valid, if not more?
The latter.
I was going to say the latter. It sounds like the latter.
Exactly.
All right, guys. If you guys need to take a pee-pee break or anything, if you're going to allow me a minute to run one of these Rumble commercial, Rumble video commercials. So
me.
Sorry, I'm muting you guys all out for a second, for about a minute, and then you guys can go hit the toilet if you need to or anything like that. But I'll be just a second. Just doing this to keep the old lights on here. Excuse me. All right. So guys and gals out there, we hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. And after the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're the one in control. And if you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem too. Now fast forward to today. Everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. And that's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like Armando and me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code and click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. And in just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Boom. All right. I appreciate that moment there, ladies and gentlemen. And really enjoy Rumble versus the ex-old platform there, the YTs, who do not do such a thing like that, which I'm pretty surprised that over the years they never did any of those commercials like Creator Studio that could actually help the creator like Rumble is doing, which is very contrary to what the YTs have been doing. You know, kick you off a channel for 5 years, and still to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what kind of coincidence has to happen that I get my channel removed from YouTube on October 15th, 2020. All right, that's whatever. But then I get it back on October 15th, 2025. Exactly 5 years to the freaking day. And yeah, I had a couple of unsuspensions that lasted about a week in the meantime, but just very, very weird to me. So I don't know what the hell was going on with them, but 5 years to the day, ladies and gentlemen. Like that, that's just super weird. Let's see.
Somebody had a plan.
Dude, I mean, isn't that weird, bro? Like, exactly 5 years to the day I get my channel back.
I think it was symbolic because of when that happened, I had a quiet little nobody following me, nobody, just very small, insignificant numbers. I mean, less than 100. And I think I had it for 11 years, 10 years. And I think I had maybe 20 tweets. Every once in a while, I go on there. This is a tweet to make sure that I'm tweeting, because I have to tweet every once in a while to make sure I can keep tweeting. Something like that I'd put on. And I got taken off of there. I just went, okay. The same role that you got taken off of that the president did. I think it was symbolic of them putting it back at that time. I think the math was run, everything was done, and that's why.
Super weird. And then, like my buddy Red Pill, he got his channel back, and last I heard from him a few months ago, for some reason they allowed me to remonetize, but last I heard from him, they wouldn't let him monetize for months and months. And I'm pretty sure I might be like one of the only ones of that group that are back and monetized, which is weird. But they killed me, dude. Like, if how good we were doing back then, I would have over 1 million followers at this point, which would have been great. But I would just be doing videos more with probably better equipment. But well, let me see. Before we touch on that, and I do really want. I mean, dude, we could make a whole video out of the near-death experience stuff. But I wanted to just put this part out really quick, because Armando had brought it up, and I did have it to touch on. And this is a 4-minute video, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to go to the end here. Where was it? With the 2 hands forward, right here. She didn't do anything wrong.
My family and I can personally confirm that justice is for sale. To Donald Trump, who I know is watching because he watches everything, I have a message for you. You can subpoena my records. You can investigate me. You can harass me. Put my name on every and any enemies list you have, but leave my wife and family out of your personal vendetta. I'd like to say something to my wife. These times are not normal. They're not ordinary.
Oh my God. She's done nothing.
He's scared. He is scared.
Well, when you run certain operation for such a long time, it turns into RICO, then from RICO into something else, and goes into national to international crime, it just goes on and on and on. But yeah, he's exactly right. Trump is listening.
And they pull talking points out that are obviously against them, and they always turn it. They do a 180 with them.
He mentioned grand jury. Well, actually, let me get this part out here really quick, because this is the part I wanted you guys to see specifically.
Reached my own home to get me. He's coming after my wife, Jen, a public servant, a woman who's dedicated her life to supporting women and girls, someone who has done nothing wrong other than having the temerity to advocate for what she believes in.
Other than sleeping with me.
Yeah.
But guys,
Duke could use some acting lessons from the very industry based in the state.
She did nothing wrong, dude. Come on. Governor Newsom's wife collected $3.7 million from gender nonprofit. Yep. Oh, that's cute.
But that's only one.
Voice print analysis.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Where's the other one I got from yesterday? But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that she was into as well. But it's like let's not pretend. Okay, Mike.
You'll see a crossover with her and with the children. Well, let's leave the children out of it. You'll see a crossover with her over into the Las Vegas area into the construction companies that are building new buildings in the downtown Las Vegas area.
He's just in the concrete business with some partners.
Yeah.
Armando, anything? Oh, Mike, go ahead. You finish up, and then if Armando
sorry,
has
I
anything.
Sorry. I was just gonna say if you dig hard enough, you're gonna find it, and you'll see.
Mr. Armando, anything you wanted to add to this one? I had a link yesterday with a bunch of charts.
Like I said, I was just curious in the timing of everything, how they now bring this up, because, the megahorns out there are saying, oh, yeah, he's going to go ahead and run for president in 28, and he's going to have this, what's his name, the other one as VP.
Hunter
Can't remember
Biden.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biden as VP and blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, well, there it is. They got dirt on you, man. I'm sorry. That's just it. And rightfully so.
I wanted to, it's popped in my head and I want to get it out before I lose it. So when I worked the fires that we had last year, when everyone's homes burned down in LA and the whole area, we're working the fires out there for doing security and working with LAPD, LA Sheriff. And so we were there one day, and Newsom rolled in with his security and his SUV, and he was with some Chinese, I guess you would call them contractors, business. I'm going to say businessmen. They're Chinese businessmen, and we were standing probably no more than 15, 20 feet away. We were in the government zone, the staging area. We had the Cal OES, the primary trucks. They're big old motorhomes that are command centers. So we're in the command center area, and so our team got the privilege to walk with him just for security, and we were overhearing what he was talking about. And so they were talking about, and this is in the Malibu area, that they were talking about proposing that they build up some feature, something like big hotels that they have in Mexico, resorts and stuff, and that was actually what was being talked about, and when they came that day, and it wasn't they didn't just come one day; it was quite a few days, and so me and my buddies, we all took down notes and just listening. We're not, we're just listening, and we're like, why are these Chinese businessmen? The reason we knew they were Chinese, because when their cars came in, on front of the cars, they had little flags with the Chinese flag on it, and so that kind of that gave it away. And of course, they can't have standard military police, so they're asking for a specific security arrangement team, a diplomatic security team, DSTs. And so being the DSTs, certified DSTs over there, we're just listening around, and they're talking about building, resorts and other things, big shopping developments. And this is like right when people lost their homes, within, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later. And there is such a bigger backstory about, with those homes, and, those people, and that would be for another show. And I can go to great in depth and details with that, because those homes that were damaged with all the hazardous materials that spilled into the land, into the properties, there, and we're working with the insurance surveyors coming around, insurance adjusters, and so we got the full skinny on how long it would take to rebuild a home there, or rebuild the homes there, and what the insurance companies were doing. And so we even first learned that the insurance companies were trying to jump out and say no, because, so it went down two ways. Well, when I say we, I say the law enforcement community. There were some people arrested nearby that where the fires were started, and I'll let people that are computer wizards, if you want to pull up old videos and start looking, you could find those arrest records on those people. And so the insurance companies, the way out for the insurance companies, State Farm, Allstate. So if it was an act of terrorism via the fires, weapon of mass destruction, the insurance companies wouldn't have to pay out to the homeowners. Now, luckily, that didn't happen, and so a lot of people from other different organizations, went to DC and made things happen to make sure people, could work with the insurance companies, because all the insurance companies were going to go bankrupt. And we were in these meetings with these insurance companies, and they were avidly talking out loud in these briefings, in the meetings, in the conferences, and they were scared. They were very, very scared.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. And so, but to highlight it all, and, and next time we can, if you'd like, we can go and I can go into the whole details of it. And I got my notes and reports and everything on it. And mind you, none of this was classified. It was never made secret or top secret or confidential or anything. I'm allowed to talk about it. And so at that time, I had a few people that lived there, and they were going through the homeowners insurance issues for the fires. And so I had reached out to a couple of attorneys, and those attorneys were able to help some of my friends that their homes burned down in. But the whole thing with the Chinese businessmen showing up at the different sites was quite odd. And they were you could just see it, the body display, the language and linguistics he was displaying, giving off. He was trying to make a deal. And so there's so much into this, but I'll just leave it at, at this portion as to where, these Chinese businessmen had showed up from China, and, they were there to strike a deal over all this, damaged acreage of land. And so, I'm hoping, and, praying that, someone's looking into this, especially from an investigator standpoint, especially from Congress, or even the president himself, that, they are looking into this, because a ton of people lost their lives, a livelihood, their homes, they lost everything.
How many houses went down there, Mike? Do you know, like, roughly how many houses burnt down? Because I don't even know ballpark. I don't even.
Over hundreds and thousands, man. It
Hundreds
was a
of
lot.
thousands?
So, and it's not just houses; it's businesses as well. So you had businesses, commercial businesses, private businesses. Think of like attorneys' offices or doctors' offices, HVAC, commercial buildings,
Hollywood people.
Yeah, Hollywood people, and then and then California residents, California people that had their homes burnt down.
13,000, it says at least. Holy shit.
Yeah, and so when you talk about like 13,000 homes, right? That's just homes. So you have to include the commercial businesses. You have to include, the private business practice, the private practices, the businesses, the office buildings, right? And so there's so much more that goes into it as well, and even infrastructure. There is a lot of infrastructure that was damaged that will never be rebuilt. And that's because of all of the hazmat, all of the hazardous materials from the homes and the fires and everything just leaking into the soil. And I worked in hazmat for quite a bit. I'm a hazardous materials program manager. And, so I have, I went through all the schools. I did hazmat construction, firefighter hazmat, hazmat inspector. And so when we were there, we were just looking at all this carnage. And we were talking to the insurance adjusters, and the surveyors started coming out. And so when the surveyors started coming out, they were talking about the cleanup process. So the cleanup process, they first have to get all that hazardous material out. So you have one house out of 300, an example. You have to, so an example is if let's say someone's home had, cleaning products, gasoline, diesel for their vehicles, their boats or whatever, and it leaked into the ground. In the hazardous materials recovery process, to fix all of that, they have to dig all of that ground up, and then they have to take the hazardous materials waste, which is now in the back of a semi truck, that's going to haul it away to a hazardous materials receptacle site.
Well, a lot of times they just burn the dirt and then put it back in and bring it back
No,
out.
you can't do that here. Not in California.
You can't even do that. Oh.
No, not in California. Not in California.
Wow.
And so with EPA there, so you had federal EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and then you had California Environmental Protection Agency. And when we were walking with the fire department, I saw what they were writing down, and from being a hazmat inspector, safety officer point of view, I was just blown away. Like there's just no way you're going to clean this up in 10 years. This is going to take longer than 10 years to clean this entire catastrophe up. One neighborhood, one of the inspectors was saying just for this neighborhood in the Palisades area we're at, he said cleanup process for this neighborhood would probably be about 2 to 3 years, and that's to get all the hazardous materials out. And then you have another couple years to come back and do building and repurposing. And there's a whole lot that goes into construction, in the construction project management side. And so even before you get into the construction project management side of rebuilding your home in that area or your business in that area, you have to remove all that has waste. And there's just, it's just ridiculous to even think about how, it's going to take, let's just say 5 years to get all of that waste out. And taking that long, what are the people going to do? And so the government came in and said, we'll buy your houses. We'll buy your property from you, and we will buy your properties from you. And what they got, the deals that they got were pennies on a dollar. And so basically,
and they're taking that money and throwing it into some fund that's making 18%. By the way, right. What you're outlining here is the biggest, dirtiest political grift case of arson probably ever.
Right. So we're leaving the terrorists. We'll leave terrorism out of this. Okay. We'll put them aside. Let's just keep this to where we're just talking about the money and the projects.
What they do with a good crisis.
Yes. And so now it makes sense why you had Chinese businessmen coming in from China and other businessmen from other locations in countries coming in, because it's one of the most beautiful, it's one of the most bountiful and beautifulest areas to where people could ever live. And it's a land grab now for whoever's going to take it or can afford it, to buy all of that pennies on a dollar and build let's just say whatever they want on there. And let's just say they are going to build a resort on there. They're going to build a casino or whatever. I'm just throwing examples out there. It's just what if, right? That's what was going on behind the scenes. And there's such a ton, there's so much more. So I'll just leave it at that, and that's just the gist of that. But Ghost, go ahead. I know you got a lot on that too.
Oh, no, I was just going to say they'll probably build an underground data center with a Denny's on top and then build the resorts down the block from it, you know.
Oh my
It's
God.
just horrible. I mean, I knew it was involved, but when he spells it out like that, it just reminds you of how vast these stupid ass plays are. And the people running this, look, I'm going to reach to the reality card on politics. In my lifetime, it's been a grift that both sides cover each other while you argue over who's right and who's wrong and all this. That's the theater. That's the narrative. It's been a big, giant grift while control measures were maintained. There's five entries in U.S. code that unequivocally support each other. They're in different sections, most of them, 2 or 3 of them, or 1. And basically it says if you are in a position of authority, oath-taking position, it could be Congress, could be anything, judge, could be anything. If you know of a crime and could have done something about it and didn't, you're guilty. And you could face 3 to 5 years, and I think it's starting at $250,000 in fines. Okay, I'm going to give you a case in point.
Correct.
How does someone but they never tell each other, do they, Mike? Never.
Well, for this
Only
case,
if it's politically expedient because they got to get somebody out.
Well, hold on. So for this case, let's just say there was 10 soldiers out there as diplomatic security, and they wanted to be whistleblowers. So they went through a whistleblower process. They talked to JAG. They talked to the IG. They talked to the AG. They talked to the whistleblower legal team, and they were just shunned off.
Shut down.
Yeah. Kind of how it worked out.
It's very high levels that are doing this. And unless people stand the ground, and it's going to go the way it's going to go. And people I know, they're going to say, well, why doesn't the president do something about it? It's very, very difficult. And he is in a position now where he's picking his battles more than ever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even something that size and horrible, because it is when you lose everything, had it happen. Katrina took me out totally. And it's a horrible feeling. You just got to accept it and move on. But this kind of thing is different. It's just, there's just some way different about it. The result is the same. You lose everything. But at least there was help with that. Non-governmental was actually bigger than governmental with that. Organizations from foreign countries were raising money for people there, and it was an amazing thing to see in that respect. People taking care of people, but FEMA was too busy running you through 23 stations, and they wanted to know more about you. And the final one, they wanted to look up your bunghole. I mean, that's how in depth it got. I finally stood up into one center, being the guy I am, and saying, look, I'm done. I got halfway through it, and I said, I'm done. I can barely walk right now. My girlfriend's having some serious trouble. Everybody in here, you know more about me than my mother, and you don't need to. All you need to do is send one of your guys out with a nice vest on. You can walk through the shit that's left and what's destroyed. Give me a figure if that's why you're here. Otherwise, I'm leaving. I'm done. And I had 500 people sitting in chairs in this community center, beautiful community center, get up and cheer. And I walked the hell out. and I could barely walk at that time. I was supposed to have surgery that Thursday, and yeah, me and my walker and my girlfriend walked out, and it was a big FU and written on my back walking out that door. I was done. Enough's enough. I'm not playing into your studies, your bullshit, your games, your you know, monkey boy Bush throwing all these contracts to his good old boys down in Texas and getting the contracts to build everything. I don't care about that. I knew that's the way it's going to be from day one, but I didn't care about the fact that it was, when all is said and done, it was private and religious organizations that did more for you than the government. And I'll take that any day. If I were to go over a case that what happened to me at a Red Cross center, and then 6 months later, getting a letter of reprimand from these bastards from the regional headquarters of the Red Cross, I can tell you what a grift it all is from every angle. And we don't want to go into what the Red Cross is all about on this show, but we could do that another time. I have no problem saying it about them because I'm sick. What I'm sick of is you're still running these narratives and these fables and stories about organizations that you've been running for generations. And it's been time for people to wake up to this shit because it costs you money. It costs everyone money because the worst money management company on the planet is the federal government. End of story.
Mike, you sure that that Chinese individual and businessman wasn't, his business manager or his limo driver, like Miss Feinstein here? Oh, for 20 years, we know that she had a Chinese spy, was Senator Dianne Feinstein's helper for 20 years. That came out in, 2018? I saw one of you guys had mentioned that. I thought this was interesting, just finding this on here. Senator Mark Warner, who is always the anti-Trumper, says he hopes Senate can confirm Trump's DNI pick this week. Well, that's weird for me because he's one of those gang of 8 jerk-offs that knew everything that was going on back in 2017 and didn't say a damn thing.
Yeah. So with how do I say it? If you look hard enough with what you were just talking about, you'll be able to find things on J files. I'll leave it at
that. Interesting. Here's a quick update that just flashed up on my screen. Reported FBI raids Soros. So apparently they're getting into him right now. And then here's another one. This is coming from U.S. Homeland Security News. It's a commentary account. Update: U.S. Special Forces and CIA operatives are inside Cuba confirming the location of dictator Raul Castro and his security detail. The show's starting. Love it.
Yeah. So you remember how the our practices were going down with the old hospitals in Pasadena? The buildings were around the same age as the buildings that are in Cuba.
Yeah.
So you had to, we had to practice, going through the old hospitals and, old buildings, see how the setups are. And, then obviously you have people that are in there putting up the mock-up for everything. But,
Yeah, it's almost there. One point I wanted to make also as well, when you guys were talking about, the Palisade fires and the many others, the same playbook I think happened with Lahaina over in Hawaii, and then the same playbook. What's going on also? Let's look at the current situation in Southern California now. What about these industrial complex like Kimberly Clark? All these massive warehouse fires also as well.
Yeah.
How long will
So
it take for them to rebuild? Because obviously there's going to be toxic material on the ground, right? So it's
yeah.
another playbook thing, right?
Yeah, probably the answer is probably never. And it's a sad story because Kimberly Clark is a big defense contractor for the DoD or Department of War, however you want to call it, supplying paper goods, medical goods. And another thing that was pointed out to me, and it was really interesting, was these vehicle yards with tons of vehicles that are pickup parts, or vehicle storage areas with
Junkyards, yeah.
junkyards, right? They're being burnt to the ground. And somebody had said to me, well, everyone has to get all these new vehicles and they got these cameras in here and they're watching you. And if you want to buy a used vehicle, you're basically almost paying the same price for a new vehicle to a used vehicle. Um, but now, if they're burning down these junkyards and you need parts, and your mechanic can't get parts because in the area or the AO, there's no parts he can get, and there's a shortage, then what is the consumer left to do?
No, they're forcing you to buy a new car
Yeah.
if you can afford it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yep. We know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's crazy because of the new cars too. It's they have all these apps in their applications, and like your standard Amazon Music or your standard Spotify. You got to sign up for all these different things. So kind of like if you have an Apple phone, iPhone, you got to pay for all these apps. And so in the new cars, it's very similar.
It's not just the apps, and this was proven recently. I know GM's behind it, Ford was behind it, and then eventually POTUS got involved in this with their Secretary of Transportation. He signed an executive order banning auto manufacturers here in America those front-facing cameras on your face that will shut your vehicle down automatically if the AI determines that, hey, you're impaired, you drank too much, or what if it's a medical emergency, right?
Right.
I can't start my car, I can't go anywhere, and I'm not under the influence or anything like that. Well, the workaround started out, well, just wear your sunglasses, it can't read your eyes. So there was that, but still, just the whole thought of it, right? So they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to back off this one, but still, my point being this, which they did not address. Say I want to go to my local Chevy dealer as an example, and I want to buy a new, let's call it a new 3500 HD with, I don't know, what do they call it? The F2 pack, whatever. One of these Raptor type, but Chevy made products, right? Well, if you want any add-ons like a sunroof, you want air conditioned seats, you want heated seats, heated steering wheel, all these little bells and whistles, you have to you have to rent those options, pay per month to have extra options on that. What are you kidding me? And if you don't pay, guess what happens? They turn it off. Right? They turn off your heated seats. They turn off your air conditioning. I'm like, it's stupid. It is stupid. The people that come up with this stuff, I think they're just mentally disabled. No, seriously. I mean, come on. So people are getting around like me. My truck is a 2015. Yeah, it has some electronics in it, but extremely minimal. Okay. And I'll have your most common failure backup parts, an alternator, water pump, the usual stuff that usually goes out, coil packs and stuff like that on hand in stock because of this very same reason Doc pointed out. I mean, down in Florida, they had 4-alarm fire, 3 of them, junkyards. And you would be thinking, why are they torching junkyards? Well, for that very reason, spare parts. Spare parts, can't get them, right? And then if you want to go purchase them, you got to order them. Where does that spare part come? Oh, it was remade, remanufactured in China.
Look,
Let's see how long those last.
I like to hear the president's point of view on this stuff. I really
Oh, yeah.
would.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
oh, yeah. I know they're aware of it. He's not going to stand for this.
No, and I'm pretty sure when, again, pick your battles and you got to pick them in order. So I hope, pray, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get to that. But man, that's an important thing too.
Yep.
I'm going to go back to riding a horse. Screw it.
I heard.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, unless
no
you're Amish.
For you.
Unless you're Amish.
Oh, you can. Yes, you can. But
no, they fart too much. That's bad for greenhouse gases.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I heard, and I don't know that this is true or not, but I heard yesterday there was some video that they were saying they might be doing cars in the UK that will send off a sensor if you don't have two hands on the steering wheel. Like, so that's stupid enough as it is already. But what was it? You had mentioned farts, and did you cows and farts? And did you know that apparently, remember before we used to say like, oh, you got to get rid of the cows because they produce too much methane and this, that, and the other. And then, well, people realize, wait, cows don't even fart. Can't even fart. Well, look at this update from yesterday. It's kind of a crappy, muty, windy sounding video, but let's take a listen to what this guy says for 30 seconds.
So it's not coming from my mouth. I'm not making it up. But the University of Nebraska just got done with their.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's not coming from my mouth. I'm not making it up. But the University of Nebraska just got done with their one of their studies that the way to save the world on carbon is raise more cows. Okay. And that's because cows are carbon negative. Okay. They produce more oxygen than they put off methane and carbon.
It means to eat more cheeseburgers or steaks, right?
Beef.
So apparently it's coming out of the University of Nebraska that they're carbon negative. So it's a good thing.
So how did they? Yeah, it's a good thing. But how did they counter that?
Ooh.
They got that nasty. They got that. No, they already did. They got that nasty. They got that nasty worm that's infecting cows and it's spreading nationwide.
What is that? That's
that screw worm is what they call it.
Screw worm. Yeah, screw worm.
Yeah.
I was going to say twist, something like that. Yeah, let's scare everybody away from hunting deer and eating cows. I mean, this.
Then the ticks, all that shit, man. Come on.
It all has to come to a screeching end. And the only way to do it, the only way to get all of the fronts coming against this country and the American people is to do something drastic. You got the biggest gun and you're willing to use it. That's all that matters. Ask Iran.
Mm-hmm.
$1 trillion worth of damage. Oh, and we're going to spoon feed them 300 billion and trace every dollar through every dollar. I promise you will be traced through every conduit, 50 steps down the line. And if they do one thing untoward, and that doesn't account for, well, I don't know, possibly covert operations that train a lot of the young men and women that are ready, willing, and able to fight, along with the military units that have defected. We got plenty more news coming out of that country for years to come. But the good thing that I'm hoping and praying is that no more American blood's going to be spilled in that effort. Because if we can do it that way, especially with one 2-letter item, AI.
Oh no.
There's where it can be a positive. Okay. And you need to have some farmers on here, beef farmers, beef cattlemen, and let them tell you about the state of the industry and all the crap they're getting out of South America. And big ball Bill Gates with his lab grown meat. He can take it and shove it up the ugliest bum on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. And these are the idiots that have to be sidelined. But you have to sideline an entire monetary system before you do it. And it has to be done, in other words, with a gentle fold and then a quick tear. And that's the way it has to be done. And that gentle fold's already underway. So it's coming. Again, timing is a matter. There's ebb and flow, pushback. You've always got to readjust position. And you don't want to sit in one place too long or have any elements in one place too long, or they're going to take a very big round to them. And as long as you can move faster than a mortarman's aim, you're okay, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Bullets, all things considered. But this is, I think it's becoming, and I want everybody's opinion on this show right now. Honestly, don't you think that the let's say subliminal and not literal references and actions more than anything that have been going on since January of 25 have only shown that this is coming. It's a war. And this is what it entails.
Yep.
Oh my God. And I got a funny one for you guys too. I think we're gonna have to push the near-death experience off to the next show, guys. And then we're gonna have to put the or maybe the next one after that and do the Palisades next. But I got a funny one for you. You know, we started off with, you know, making fun of Michael Obama or whatever. And then so I sent this to one of my ex-coworkers who's a Democrat, and of course he sends me this back, and I'm just listening to this and I'm like, I bet you he's not catching the irony of it all.
Very clear, strong men, men who are truly role models, don't need to put down women to make themselves feel powerful. People who are truly strong lift others up. People who are truly powerful bring others together.
I mean,
very clear, strong men.
Oh, come on. Here
strong
we go.
men.
Strong men don't need to put down other men or
all
other
these
women.
Cheap ass, provincial bullshit, non-existent sentiments. Yeah, they exist in certain. You'll always run into every human behavior wherever you go. Deal with it. You're not going to legislate nor have a morality movement that's going to erase people that are sexist or whatever. It just is. The numbers are getting smaller because people are finally understanding that, gee, the genetic origin of the individual in front of you shouldn't have anything to do with you dealing with them, period, end of story. And so they're going to put him out there scraping the bottom of the barrel with all of these Bette Midler crowd types that this really means something to them because they were indoctrinated in the 60s and never grew beyond it. Nice going, boomers. It's just a shit show. And when they put this thing out there saying that, you know, and sorry if I offended. No, I'm not sorry if I said what I said because it's my right to say it. And I would never do anything to harm anyone. And these two gentlemen know that. I help people no matter what. If it's legitimate, I know them, they need it, they get it. And I don't care what their orientation is or whatever. And I've proven that many times over and over and over in my life. I don't have to even justify myself with it to say that this thing is out there, because that is a thing inside, intellectually and physically. Who cares physically? I don't give a damn what anybody does in their personal life, but don't parade yourself out there as some kind of morally superior dipshit, breaking the bottom of the barrel sentiments with bottom of the barrel 50-year-old ideas, because that's who she's. I'll show him some respect. That's who she's targeting with that crap. And I'm sorry.
That was an old one.
I never censored myself with reality. I'm not going to. It is what it is. And it's just pathetic.
It is, and this is
Anyway,
one of those people that you can
I
never
need a
tell
drink.
anything to. Well, it's good. It's about that time that we we wrap it up. Here, let me see. I think I got everything out. And again, I don't know. Did I show you guys this video quick? I'll turn the sound. Actually, no, I won't turn the sound off. So I literally just sent this back to my buddy, and I said exactly what I said. I said true, but he put down a man, right? And then so I said, and I followed up with, well, why does Obama call, quote, her Michael all the time? And in the top left corner, this is her dancing, quote, her. Actually, I put, quote, him dancing on Ellen, the Uptown Funk, and his dong flopping around. So let's take a listen to this one, then we'll wrap it up here. Who?
Michael and I.
Who?
Michael and I also want to.
And just for the record, he never corrected himself.
Acknowledge son Jack, who's deployed today.
When Michelle's mad, I get worried.
And do you think that the country will see the first?
When Michelle's mad, when Michelle's mad, I get worried.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
We started drinking, I started snorting, he started smoking.
Crack.
I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed oral sex on Barack Obama.
And this was from the this is from the drops back in the day, and somebody put
No, I really need a drink.
See what kind of guy see what kind of guy I am, dude. I even changed the word here. Yeah. Well, I changed the word here that said FAGGOTS are holding hands.
Okay.
I changed it to they. I said they are holding hands. But this is back from the drops where him and this looking like an AIDS victim guy that he's with apparently are holding hands here. Cute friends. So yeah. We're just giving you guys data points out here. Where you guys choose to believe and run with is up to you. I don't know what the hell's going on.
They lied, lived a lie, presented a lie, presented the world a lie. And it's such an egregious lie. And when he got elected, I already knew this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I got to turn off the next 4 years. I don't know how I got to do it, but I got to do it. Somehow I just ignored it. But seriously, that has to be atoned for. And the American public wakes up and grows a little more every time these things are exposed with receipts. And she died because of what she said on those steps of her brownstone right there.
Oh yeah,
That's why she died.
Oh
yeah, there's a million ways to kill you, and it ends up in the same thing.
And I've already seen it on, so just so anybody happens to see any reports of Obama putting out a lawsuit, no, never happened. But kind of what Ghost was foreshadowing could happen. They could put out a thing for defamation. But if you do, that discovery is going to be a doozy. All right, drop your drawers. Let's see what you got there, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
we'll
unbiased physician. Okay, it went through. I from those pants that Ellen dance, which I don't even like to recall personally, but some things you just can't unsee.
A roll of quarters
wasn't complete. Yeah.
I said she got a roll of quarters in her pocket or a roll of certs or something like that, but something's in those pants that should not be. Is where I'm going.
She had a red hot mama still.
Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what happened to the chef, right?
Yes, I very much do wonder what happened to that chef. And they were on the island. They weren't at the home. No, they weren't at the home when he died, but he was on the island. They were on the island anyway, so I'm sure they were probably there. But yeah, was he having an affair with Obama? Did he see Michelle in something he shouldn't have, or was he having an affair with Michelle, or anything could be happening. You never know. But I don't know if we'll ever get those answers. Probably not. That would be good to find out. But yeah, anytime anybody dies, you should get an answer for that. But he drowned in, what was it, like 1.5 feet of water or 2 feet of water or something very, very shallow.
Oh, that happens every day.
And don't forget, he was also an Olympic contender for swimming.
Are you serious?
Shit.
I did not know
Oh,
that.
shit.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
Oh, so that makes it even worse, guys. So okay, all right. Let me go over to the old pill there. I got a few folks over here to thank. Truett with the cookie is all right. So I'll read this one last then because it says and lastly, Sean Joe with the cookie, Space Squad member. Appreciate you, brother. No message on there, but thank you. James Rohrback with the cookie says Tulsi was so brave. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Yeah, she just ventured out on the ledge herself and she released all that on her own. What a brave soul. Yeah. Thanks, James. And then One Thunder with the can. No message on there, but thank you. And the last one, but not least, Truett with a cookie says, and lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? I guess we truly will end it with that one there tonight. But let's see. Armando, since I'm looking at you and you're on screen, any parting words for the folks? And your next show is guessing going to be Thursday at 7 p.m.?
Yep, correct. 7 p.m. this Thursday.
Links in the box
Entitled
below.
Final Exposure. All of it is revealed. And
You
we're
getting
talking
naked?
about everything. Well, no, I'm not having Mike on. Not happening. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway. No, this Thursday, 7 p.m., Truth Table News World. Final exposure video. It all comes together, all of it. And I'm not going to give anything away right now. It's tied into last week's stream also, but this is the juicy part and everything will come together for everybody on what's actually going on. So catch me on Thursday.
Yeah, drop me a link and I will do my best to share it out for you as far as wide as I could, my man. Let's see. Mr. Doc Meixer, any parting words for the folks? Anything to look out for? Anything. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to the audience. Appreciate you guys being on here. And definitely take the seeds that have been spoken of and go search for them. And definitely next show. Whether it's Palisades or NDE or some other stuff with government related, definitely go into it. And I just want to say, my wife's here with me, and we just want to say thank you to every one of you that have donated. Renee is, if you just hopped on, my wife Renee. Been a registered nurse for over 10 years and very sick. She has to we just found out she has to get a heart transplant, and we are figuring out what to do. We have a GoFundMe set up, and so we are asking kindly for donations. This is more money than I ever would have thought of a medical thing that we're going through. And with this heart transplant, it will allow my wife to live. And last time we were at the cardiologist the past week, they said with her current heart, she only has 2 to 4 years. And that's with a pacemaker. And so we're just asking for help, and some of the members on here with Spaceshot community and Armando's community, we have been, given some medical help, and we're absolutely grateful for that. My wife just wants to let you guys know, thank you for everything. Thank you for the donations, and those donations do go towards medical payments, medical travel expenses, all medical expenses, and we have receipts for everything.
Which are never cheap, like never cheap. None of that stuff it's always just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, and especially with medication too. It just all of it combined together, and we are scared. And I'm being honest and genuine. We both are scared for her to go through the heart transplant, which will be done at UCLA at the cardiologist clinic down there, and the surgical center. And I've me and Renee have been together for almost 6 years, and could say 7, but dating, and we love each other to the ends of the earth, and I can't imagine myself without my wife, and she's been there for me through any deployment, any operation, and even just simple surgeries that I've had, and I'm grateful to know that I'm being in the corner with Renee, that people in the audience are you are also in the corner with us, supporting her.
Amen.
She's a lovely, amazing wife, soulmate, a person, a friend. If there's ever a day that I can arrange, a meetup for all of us to meet up, so you guys could meet Renee, you would love her. She's an amazing person, and I can't think what I would do in life. I've succeeded in life in a lot of things in the military, whether that's in special operations, intelligence, going to school, getting a diploma, degrees, whatever it may be. None of that means anything, without my wife standing next to me, and that's why that's why she means so much to me, is that I don't want to think of the inevitable, and I'm doing everything I can, to help with everything that's going on, and it's very hard, with work, and what the doctors has told us is she has to have 24-hour care now. So we're back and forth with her mom and me when I'm gone for work, or just back and forth. And now we're looking into a caregiver, and so it's hard on us. But there is a GoFundMe if you'd like to donate. We're just asking for $1. And if you'd like to do more, that's a blessing. And if you can't donate, if you could please share it. And the most amazing thing that anyone can do and all can do is we ask for prayers. We just ask for prayers, and as many prayers as we can get, to get through this together. And I want her to have a good, successful, happy life. And getting through this heart surgery is a huge, huge thing. And the thing is Renee knows, being a registered nurse, is that there's patients that go through the surgery, and sometimes it's unsuccessful. And then you only have a limited amount of time with your significant other, and then it's over. And so we're doing our due diligence to make sure that she gets through this surgery the best way she can. Nothing happens. And she has many years ahead of us. We grow old, till we're 90, 80, 90, 100 years old. And just, the one thing I want to let everyone know is, we don't have any children. And since we got married, since we've ever met, we always talked about having a family, and then her finishing her nurse practitioner's license. And the one thing that really hits home is, her going through the surgery and getting through it. There's a slight possibility that, we can probably go through adoption or surrogacy. to have a child or children. We want to have a family. You know, we know a lot of people, a lot of our friends. Some of you guys have children, and we also want to have kids of our own too in our own family. And you know, those things are the best things in life that we always hear from other parents, other friends that have kids, and that's where we are today. And you know, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has donated or continues to donate or is helping on the medical side of things. It's been a long weekend. It's been a long day, and thank you to everyone. God bless you for everything that you guys do, and thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. And may God bless you and pay it forward. And if there's anything that you guys ever need, just feel free to ask. I'll do my best to make sure to get whatever you guys need.
Absolutely, brother. And you know, guys, I've said this over the years. You've never heard me say, please donate to me, send me some money, but I will absolutely do that to friends that are in need and have a good cause. And there's no better cause than you know, saving and caring for Renee, for Mike, of course. And so those links are in the description box below. And I put that shorter link that actually came from the other one I had was like 4 or 5 lines long. So like I've said, guys, at the end of the day, we're probably going to get roughly around anywhere between 25 to 30,000 views on this video. And if everybody could even just give $1, you guys have no idea how much that would be a big boost to this. And I can hear the stress in Mike's voice. So I want to kind of help try to alleviate that stress. So please, guys, if you guys have $1 or $2, that would be absolutely wonderful. And don't even think like, oh, I don't want to just go give $1. Like, even if you only have $1, believe me, it all adds up, guys. It absolutely all adds up. Mr. Ghost, sir.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the audience also. They've been an amazing audience. And, you know, their giving has been just incredible. And if you can keep it up, please do. Shit, I'm sorry. I didn't want to get emotional, but Mike, look, I know a lot of the details and how this system doesn't take care of you. It's there. It's better than nothing. But I'll just say this. I'm an extremely strong and resilient SOB. But I know if my wife were in that position, my children, it would break me. I know what they've had to deal with, and I know how the system works. And I'm sorry for breaking up, but it is what it is. If you hear this lady's sweet voice, she's every bit as sweet and more. And just trying to fix a little bit of hell in our corner. And just thank you so much, everyone, and God bless all of you for giving.
Yeah, amen. You know, and we've said it before too. It's everything that's in the medical field is crazy expensive. So all of your help would be greatly appreciated. And again, at the end of the day, if you don't even have $1 to give, we will absolutely take prayers, because prayers and numbers do work for sure. And I know we got a lot of people praying for Renee. So that's definitely great to have that in our corner. So keep them up, guys, and then spread those out to any prayer lists you guys have as well. And I'll be taking tomorrow off to hang out with the boy. And I'll be back on the roundtable on Thursday. And then don't forget Armando's show at 7 p.m. on Thursday as well. And then I'll be back again on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. for Table of Titans. So hopefully you guys can join us out there. Always a great show with these guys, and hopefully you guys have your pens and pencils out when they're dropping these little nuggets to go and research on, because there's definitely good stuff in there if you're not reading between the lines. But again, thank you to the mods out there. Mike, Ghost, Armando, always a pleasure, guys. And for you guys and gals out there, we do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful World Patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Where I can find it. There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my outros? Oh, I was way down. All right. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's Brackets and Jackets. Bringing it back for Brackets and Jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see, this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is Brackets and Jackets for the denizens of islands.